Welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are...
A very good Tuesday morning to you. Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by Sentinrl Storage right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Thank you for tuning in, whether it's on EdmontonSportsTalk.com, tune in, iHeart, Apple Music, watching on YouTube, listening on podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, listening in some other way that I'm forgetting here. We appreciate you. So thank you for joining us on this Tuesday. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola with your Benny Goods on the other side of the mic. Or the camera. We're going to go with that one. Try that for today. And Hernan coming in today earlier. So I appreciate you, Hernan.
Thank you.
Appreciates you. Edmonton Sports Talk also proudly presented by Play Alberta. The promo codes for the month of May: EST Casino, EST Sports, and YEG50. It is now working. I was talking with Dusty yesterday. I told people to throw it like on the lock shop, because it wasn't working for existing users, and I thought, well, if it's just rolling over, maybe it's not supposed to. Dusty did send a message. In the end, it's now working, and I got to do it yesterday. So if you deposit 5 or more and use YEG50, you're going to get a free $50 bet. That's for new and existing members as well. So there you go. PlayAlberta.ca. Download the app. How you boys feeling after that post-game show last night?
I was accused of being negative and saying that this thing was over when all I was trying to do was point out, oh my God, somebody really got under my skin yesterday. I was pointing out that Evander Kane set the tone the wrong way with his 2 penalties. People, oh, those were crap calls. Yeah, they were soft calls, but yes, Brad Marchand sold it. And then people are like, wow, do you think this is over? I don't think it's over. It's one game. And I went home and I'm like, what the hell's going on? I was being accused of like being hammered and this, that. I'm like, I've had 2 iced teas and a Red Bull, but good try. Good try. Way to go.
Yeah, it was a lot yesterday. I mean,
It was a lot. That's a great way to describe it.
Some of the takes, man. Holy
Awful.
smokes.
So bad.
Well, the good thing, a lot of people said they're done with the team and they were not going to watch anymore, so I don't expect them on the nasty chat for a game.
Well, you told them you can't watch then.
Yeah, don't
you
watch.
Can't, but now they're going to watch. I told you they're coming back.
When they win, they're going to be like, oh,
I knew it. I never doubted them.
I told you so crowd. Like, there's one guy. He was complaining that Connor McDavid's built like a teenager and that's why they lost. Look at where we're going.
It gets stupid.
I was like, are you like, I hope that was a joke. I highly doubt
No,
it.
you know what? They probably said it with like nothing but like genuine sentiment. I'm glad. I feel good about this. Thank you for asking, Matthew. Because
this is a therapy session for the two of you. If you need it, Benny and I are here.
I didn't know
listen.
I needed
and
this.
And so is Therapy Teddy. We'll call him for today.
Therapy Teddy. But yeah, like that guy said that he was built like a teenager. It's like, do you know what you just said?
You weren't saying that in game 2 with that assist.
You were ready to be his valet and chauffeur for the low price of $3.99 2 days ago, and now you're telling him he's built like a teenager? Like, get out of here with that hot garbage.
We might need help after this.
We probably do. There's a bunch of screws loose.
Yeah.
Kevin McCurdy in the nasty chat. Chat lost the plot last night.
Oh my God. We had texts coming in saying, guys, I'm sorry, I can't watch tonight. I might listen, but the chat is beyond ridiculous. I didn't even go
people
in
were
the chat.
bailing on the chat.
You could just close the chat and still watch YouTube.
Yeah.
Just throwing that one out there. As an option.
Oh, that was a text though that we got. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not even gonna look at that.
Just throwing that out for anyone listening. Like you can close the chat and still watch YouTube. There is the option. If you just click the X arrow, the chat does go away, and you can still watch without the chat.
The one guy who was trying to be funny kept changing his name to something very offensive to Stuart Skinner. It'd be on there for 2 seconds because I was ready, and he did it like 5 times. Yeah, it's just, I mean, again, it's all Stuart Skinner's fault. No one else.
Even the 6th one was his fault.
But like, the one's bringing up Pod Colvin.
I screwed that up with, what's his face? Paul Maurice's comments from a couple series ago. So,
yeah, it's just like, no one looks at anything else but the goaltending. In fact, it's fair. They were all bad. I'm not saying Stuart Skinner was good, but
nobody was good yesterday.
I'll get to goaltending in
maybe.
a bit because that is going to be a discussion point.
Sure.
But I know when I was watching the post game, I know you got in trouble with someone for pointing out Evander Kane's poor play.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean you're ripping him and his career with the Edmonton Oilers. You're just ripping the game that was today. It was last night. And it wasn't a good one. It set the tone in a very poor way, taking 2 penalties early. And then even it was in the third period, he got bumped up to McDavid and Draisaitl's line, and then he took another penalty.
Yep.
Is that how it played out? Like that is just the wrong tone set early.
Yes.
The team followed that tone. And what we saw the Oilers try to do something different, play differently than they did in games 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. And they almost won both games 1 of 2. So why would they go out and try to do something different and play a Panthers style? Like fully try to be the Florida Panthers with stuff after the whistle and stuff. You're not going to out Panthers in that way. So why do it?
Panthers had them right where they wanted them. They played with them yesterday. And the funny thing about Evander Kane is in his pregame presser that we ran,
Yep.
he said, well, I can't go out of my way and get 2, 5, and 10. And, I got to be mature and responsible. And listen, yes, he
That's
took
the comment I heard you say after 2.
He took
That's what it
hockey
was.
penalties. And they were penalties. I'm sorry. They were. And listen, the officiating's another story. They're terrible. Both ways.
We always acknowledge this.
Yes, they're terrible.
Yes.
They're you can't call 8 penalties in the first, 1 in the second.
Well, that's been the series.
Like, it's ridiculous. Like,
It's
call a
been
penalty.
first period. Somebody would have to go look up the numbers. First period has to be closing in on 20 penalties through 3 games.
8 last night.
And then the other 1, 2, so 6. And then there's been 3 overtimes played, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So through 9 periods of the other hockey, there's got to be less than 10,
That sounds right.
It's crazy.
which makes no sense. Unless the refs are sitting there saying the players, well, after the first period, we set the standard. They followed that standard the rest of the game.
If they believe that BS, oh boy.
That'd be the only way I think I could come up with a defense of the NHL and the
Right.
refs going, we set a standard in the first and it was followed for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
We reset in the first, it was followed for the rest of the game. We reset in the first, it was followed for the rest of the game. But I digress on that one. But yeah, the Oilers were, even before the third, teetering on becoming unhinged.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not their play. That's not what they do. And that's not what they did in games 1 and 2 where, like, again, they could have been up 2-0. And yet, so why change that much? I just don't understand that from their perspective in that case.
I do really think that the tone was set the wrong way. And that took the Oilers down a bad path.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Jeez. Yeah, because if even that line brawl at the end, guys, like, I know the Oilers maybe were trying to send a message, but they like Ekholm ragdolled by AJ Greer.
Yeah.
Gadjevich gave Nurse all he could handle.
That was a good fight. Like,
Yeah.
they were both bloodied.
And then who were the Frederick was getting cheap shots while he was on the ice with the linesman on him from Sam Bennett. So the Oilers tried to send a message, but Florida was just like,
Well, flip side, Frederick was giving a lot of cross checks to Bennett.
oh yeah,
Right? Like, so they do go both ways in that one sense,
100%.
right? But yeah, that's just not the Oilers' game. Like, a physical game, yes. The rattiness, that's not who they are.
no, that's true.
And that's
Reed
when they
saying?
usually get in trouble.
Reed had a really good saying
Is it with the Kachuk?
with the rat.
Because the one
Yeah,
tweet,
well,
I
I
did
can't
see Reed
remember.
have, though, is
He
that
did.
like with Kane going up against Matt Kachuk when he was in Calgary and he owned him, it was one thing. But now he's got a team of rats around him.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's what it was.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
And that's like, you could go try to be around Matt Kachuk there, but he's got a whole team that will come up and fight for him, where he was the only guy almost.
It's like a pack mentality,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
And they didn't have that in Calgary. And that's why Evander Kane was able to just dominate Matt Kachuk in that
Right.
series. Here it's a little harder.
You know what's interesting? It started in the first period for me because they were laughing at the Oilers. Like, the Oilers were all, trying to get at them.
Yeah.
And all they did was laugh. And right there, it was like, I was sitting with Eric and I said, they're in their head right now.
Yeah.
Like, Florida. So instead of the Oilers going the other way in the second, they kept trying to do the same thing.
Yes.
And then what did Kachuk say postgame? We just said, if you have to take a punch, take a punch. If you have to take a slash, take a slash. This is exactly what they did.
Marchand, there was a clip of him. They had a close up, and he like tapped his head. He's like, "We're smarter. We're smarter." I would be like, yeah,
And I
if,
get it.
if that was said to me, and I was watching what my team was doing, and I was on the Oilers, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, that idiot is right."
But God, I want to punch him in the face.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah, but that's what I would think. I'm like, I hate that guy, but damn it, he's right.
Let's play back to the way we did in games 1 and 2, and not this guy way, boys. Like, that's what should have been the message in that locker room at that point. This is Hangout Headlines, brought to you by the Ranch Golf and Country Club, offering premier conditions, top-notch service, unmatched value. If you're looking to book your tee time today, visit theranchgolf.com. You could also check out The Ranch if you're looking to book your tournament. They are the proud host of the EST Golf Classic, presented by Play Alberta. Okay, the goaltending thing here. Oh, no, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, we definitely need to talk about the goal.
Yeah, we've got lots
There's
of
a
time
text
still,
that came in. I think we should just address this. I think the three of us are the right ones to handle it. Jason LeDuc says, I know that you guys are happy that you don't have phone-in shows anymore, but at least a producer can mitigate most of that crap that we see in the public chat, so the nasty chat. It is incredibly hard to monitor that.
Yeah.
Well,
You can't control it.
No.
Like,
the flip side is you can monitor, like with the NAS, like you could moderate it yourself.
yeah. I can block whoever I want.
Well, like the listener can.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can moderate your own chat.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
to say that it has to be all on us.
Yeah.
Is a lot.
Yeah.
You could close the chat down. You could also individually hide them on your chat so you don't see them.
That's right.
So you can go moderate that.
And here's like, obviously, as we continue to grow and more people understand how good this thing is at EST and how it's very unique and the chat is its own beast, we have had people come at us and be like, you guys are too sensitive when you moderate. It's like, no, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
You're flooding the chat. Stop being stupid.
Yeah.
So Jason, I understand where you're coming from. It's a lose-lose. Yep. And no, we talked about it when we launched EST in the pre and post game shows, and we're like, Maddie, you said it to me. You're like, people get more irritated by callers and tune the show out.
Yeah.
And
it's
they'd
rare
rather
to get a solid call.
Yeah. And there's so many terrible calls.
Who did you have? Who were a couple?
Remember Barry? The guy that used to call us and
Talk about
was it Kevin Lowe?
Jim Benning.
Jim Benning, the Jim Benning guy.
It was everything was the Oilers needed to go hire Jim Benning.
Yeah, that guy was a troll because he got Reed's show at one point too. And
you would tell him like, hey, no swearing, behave.
yeah.
Put them on hold, and they'd come on and act like complete.
Like donkeys.
And that's like, and now people see what we generally get in our text inbox.
Yeah.
Whether it was 10 12 60 back at the old place or 780-218-9999 here at EST. This is what we get on a daily basis for all of our shows, but also on post game shows. Like you could filter your own. And Jason was like, no, I was talking about how the producer filtered phone calls. No, we know that.
Oh yeah.
It's the thing is, it's us like it can't be all on. Like you can moderate it yourself. Like that's the one thing with YouTube.
Yeah, honestly, the calls, I kind of didn't believe Maddie at first when he said it just makes people irritated when we take calls.
Oh yeah.
And we kind of did the last couple of years. We took a few more calls, but most of them were really bad. Like really bad that like we'd get a string of texts being like, don't take calls. Enough. These guys are idiots.
People are
And
like, please don't take calls anymore.
Yeah, I think we're one of the only markets that really doesn't have a lot of phone-ins.
The phone, it's brutal. Like I try to listen to Pat down in Calgary and I'm like, oh my God, these people have no clue what they're talking about. And poor Pat's probably just like,
well, the one I listen to a lot is Riders post games, and they take calls, and it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like when they lose, it's like, do we have to fire Mace? And like you can tell the hosts are just like, why are we talking about this?
Although Rick from Edmonton was always a legend.
Anyway, that's the reason behind it. Maddie, you want to go to go?
No phone calls.
No phone calls. You guys have ruined a good thing.
Going to the goaltending here. So I get we'll look back then look ahead. Stuart Skinner yesterday. Thoughts?
I mean, listen, yes, when you lose 6-1, the goaltending's obviously a problem, okay? But we all, let's put some context into it. Like, the Verhaeghe goal was fantastic, okay? Sorry. And yes, the goalies make big saves, sure, but sometimes you don't, and you have to give credit to the shooter. What did Craig Simpson say? That's a goal scorer's goal. Yeah. A breakaway where Podkolzin loses the damn puck at the blue line. Not one person sent in anything about Podkolzin's giveaway, right?
No, they didn't.
Breakaway. Sure, you want a breakaway save, but a great move by Bennett. Okay. The power play goal. A backhand, no-look pass by Sam Reinhart. on a one-timer.
And they were already getting their asses kicked.
Wide open.
It was a
So,
terrible
like,
puck over glass penalty by Skinner. You knew he was dejected and his head was out of it by that point.
You want big saves, but like sometimes we have to, like when the Oilers score those goals, it's all the Oilers. Nothing to do with the goaltending, right? So sometimes give credit to the other team. They made great plays. They scored great goals. Yes, Skinner, you want him to make a save. You can't lose 6-1 in the Stanley Cup final. I get it.
I didn't like that first goal.
First goal was awful.
He got caught swimming. I don't know.
He like dove.
Yeah, it was weird. I don't know. He was reading and tracking, and then he like kicked out one too many times, and the Oilers couldn't find the puck. That was a calamity of errors too.
And then saying that, yes, he has to be better, 100%.
Sure.
No denying that. And I'm still going with him in Game 4.
Benny, just Skinner's game last night.
Yeah, I agree. The first goal I thought was weak. I thought it was like just he lost the puck, kicked out way too many times, got out his net. That's Stu was at fault there, but so was the Oilers defense. Like that was you got to find a puck, you got to take a body. You can't let Marchand have a puck. In the slot there. Outside of that, man, I mean, like that wasn't a Stu Skinner like choke job or anything. Like did he play great? No. Was he like god awful, like unbearable? Like no, too. Even if he is, like even if you have that opinion, like I think you still go with him in Game 4. His track record in Game 4 is ridiculous. He's called Mr. Game 4 on the Sportsnet broadcast. Like so, like. You still go with him in that situation with just if you look at his numbers, they're incredible in Game 4. So, and for everyone saying that it's over, like Oilers gonna win Game 4. Oh my God, it's a 2-2 series coming back home
With home ice.
The narrative completely flips if you go win Thursday. So, I go Stu. If Stu has another game like last night on Thursday, I'm open to have the conversation about Pickard coming in, but. You go with them. You go with them Thursday.
It's a good point because it's been 5 goals in Game 2, 5 goals. I get it. It's 10 goals in the last 2 games against, right? Mm-hmm. So I understand it from that side, but
that's not adding the context to it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I go back to the context of the 2 games of games 1 and 2. Bobrovsky let in a lot of goals too.
Yeah,
he was fantastic in both games though. Stuart Skinner to me was fantastic in the first 2 games. Like this, just look at what he did in the second periods of both games 1 and 2. Games 1, I stand by. Florida could have extended their lead a number of times. Stu Skinner kept them in it, allowed the Oilers to go win that hockey game. Game 2, the Florida Panthers could have scored a lot more goals in that second period, and Stu Skinner stayed as tall as and allowed the Oilers to stay in it, which then they forced overtime and then gave them a chance. And then, you could talk a little bit about the goal that was allowed in second overtime. But he kept his team very much in, and and it took him 30 seconds left to get him that goal to force the overtime, anyways. So he's been fantastic, even though he has given up goals. Bobrovsky's given up goals on the other side up until tonight. Look, Bobrovsky was pulled against Toronto, Game 6. Like he let in a lot of goals. Sometimes you have bad games, even as a goalie. But the question that I would throw out there is, which Oiler last night was average or better?
I think Corey Perry is
That's probably the only
default answer. Yeah.
But is there anyone else?
No.
And so then that's where it's hard to then fully put this on Stuart Skinner for me. And you could throw the save percentage to me somewhere. Somebody did say 7-something save percentage and all that stuff. But in the end, that's a bad hockey game. But he's not the only one that had a bad hockey game.
True. No, and again.
So, and Benny, you point Game 4. He is Mr. Game 4. I'm a guy that looks at those numbers and go, if you want to look at numbers, go look at what he produces in Game 4. I don't know how you sit there. And what's the if people want to talk about save percentage or goals allowed, what is all of those are unbelievable.
Yeah.
Wins, save percentage, goals allowed. He's incredible in Game 4. I'm not going to weigh that from that history.
6-0 in Game 4. Like a 1.24 GAA,
which
9
is best
something
ever or something like that.
Yeah, and there's a shutout in there,
NHL history, like best ever in NHL history. Type like
9
that
straight
is
wins in Game 4 for the Oilers. 9 straight. So I think Stewart has 6 of those.
6, yeah.
Pickard has 2 of those.
Right.
Because he beat LA and then Vancouver last year in Game 4. And who has the other one then? Mike Smith.
Well, I'm going back. So before that, they didn't win against.
It would have been Mike Smith against Calgary, probably.
Well, what about the LA a couple years ago when they lost to Vegas?
Oh, that's the one. So it has to be Skinner.
Oh, was Jack Campbell in for that one?
Yeah, he was.
When he came in, yeah. That
Because
might
then
have
they
been it.
lost to Vegas.
Because they tied the series at 2.
That's right.
Yeah.
Then they lost to Vegas.
Did Campbell get credit for that one?
Yeah, because it was overtime.
Ah,
Remember, was that the Zach Hyman goal, I think?
So Jack Campbell 1, Stuart Skinner 6, and Picks 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to go find the stats. Like the stats of the Oilers in games 4, 5, 6, and 7 of the last couple of years is ridiculous high too.
And last year, the Oilers touched up Bobrovsky in a 5-1 win in game 6, and then there was that 8-1 win, I think, in game 4, if I recall correctly.
That's what I mean. Like, listen, and if fans, they're emotional. You shouldn't be happy. They lost 6-1.
Yeah.
You got your,
they got
you
their
know
asses
what,
kicked.
handed to them. But if there's one team that I'm not counting out, it's the Oilers. Everything we've watched.
especially when their backs against the wall.
Exactly.
But also,
even better.
I'll even go this far because I know Cass kind of alluded to this, but I don't know if he was going this way with it when he said it on the postgame show last night. But a 6-1 loss and an overtime loss are the exact same to me.
Same thing. Well, I think
It's just one loss in the series. I don't care how you lose. It's still 2-1. It's not like the Oilers lost 6-1, so Panthers are credited with an extra win or something.
That's a
think Skinner
1.5
Loss is a
win.
loss. Who cares? So now you go to the next game,
Yeah.
and you deal with it. And as Benny said, if the Oilers win this, now it's a best of 3. Now, if the Oilers lose, different conversation.
Oh, yeah.
We're in a different category, and we could deal with that on Friday should that happen, or Thursday night should that happen. But right now, I don't have any reason to believe that the Oilers cannot go out there on Thursday and get the win and split this series.
I do too. I'm very confident they'll come back with a split.
People are confident the Oilers weren't going to lose at home. Yeah, after the game 1. Panthers played, that well, and they still couldn't get the win. The Oilers have more to give, and what did the Panthers do? They found the win.
Yep.
Now reverse that.
Yeah.
Like the Panthers played an extremely good hockey game, but are the Oilers going to be that unhinged again?
Probably not.
Is goaltending going to be that bad again? Is the rest of the team? I don't believe so.
Can't get any worse.
I think
But exactly.
I think the Oilers realized yesterday, we're not going toe to toe in the greasy part of this game with this team because we're not going to win it. We're not.
There was a shot, and I think it was close up of like Draisaitl or something. And he's kind of like sitting there, and he's got his like lips puckered, and he's kind of like nodding his head. He's like, okay. That's knowing him and watching him throughout the years. He's absorbing the pain. And he's like, okay, I see how it is. And to me, I look at that and go, okay, those guys are pissed off because they were non-factors last night. Him and McDavid were non-factors. And they will change it for game 4. They will have a big impact in a positive. That's how I perceive him and him taking in everything that was happening in front of him while he sat on the bench going, okay, that's how it's going to be. We're gonna change it here.
You can see it, Maddie.
Yeah, where'd you get that?
I got that on Twitter.
Was that just a recent tweet then?
Yeah, this was after the Dallas series, I believe.
After Dallas series? Perfect.
I think he's
It's
6
on
and 0
YouTube.
now, isn't he?
What day was that tweet from?
The 28th of so maybe that was after the
So that was prior to maybe that Dallas game.
maybe a prior.
So prior to the Dallas series, he was 5-0 in game 4, 1.31 goals allowed average, a 953 save percentage with 2 shutouts.
But start
okay.
Pickard.
It's okay.
Yes.
And then what happened?
Ignore the numbers, but
Game 4, Edmonton, Dallas. Edmonton won. What was that?
It was out in Dallas.
is it 5-3?
It was at home. First game
you're
was
right.
a 6-1 win. Second game was a 5-2 or something.
I thought he only gave up like 1 goal again or something.
Yeah, it's something really good.
Let me
man.
pull it up here quickly. Oilers, that would have been May. Game 4 was 4-1.
Yeah.
There you go.
In that game, he had 28 saves, a 966 save percentage, and 1 goals allowed. So that number, that stat,
Yeah.
it should actually, the save percentage should go up slightly.
Yeah.
And the goals allowed average should come down slightly in that one with that. So, and like, look, if game 4 starts and Skinner lets in, 2 goals in the first period, would I be shocked if they go to Pickard during the game?
No.
I think then there's that little short leash. And I think if you're Chris Novak, you know that you have, because of that 6-game wins that he had, you have confidence to go to it's not like Casey DeSmith where you don't know what you're going to. There is someone there. But I think you absolutely owe it to Stuart Skinner with how well he has played since he's come back from, since his benching. And it's not, he's played well over 2 games. He's played well over a significant period of time. And then you look at the history of Game 4, 100%. Like, I don't think I don't even know if it crosses Chris Knobloch's mind long. Like, naturally it would cross, but I think it's a quick, we're going Stuart Skinner.
Yeah. And like you said, like if it's 2-3 goals in the first period, I think there might be a change for sure. 100%. It all depends to how the team in front is playing him. If he just needs to wake him up, who knows? But yeah, I think Stuart Skinner has to be really good in the next game. I don't think you can be down 2-3 goals in the first period, but yeah, it's you got to roll with Stuart Skinner now.
And I will just go. I am one that has called for Calvin Pickard at times.
You have,
right? Like I haven't. Yeah. So this isn't even like so you guys are all just Stuart Skinner. I've made those comments, and I've been wrong on making those comments at times in the past too. It's proven to work the other way. This is one where I don't know how you go to this guy who has played so brilliant at many points recently, and go, yeah, you're really even better in Game 4s. You're not playing.
Can I say something?
Go for it.
That goal Pickard let in last night was not good. I just want to point that out. It hit the middle bar.
Careful.
No, seriously, it was a one-timer, sure, on the power play, but it hit the middle bar. He whiffed on it. Pickard did. Like, that was not a good goal. I said that to somebody at BP last night, and they're like, I was like, that was a bad goal.
Okay, I'm going to add something else to your post-game show. If the Oilers start Calvin Pickard and lose, the comment would be, why would you go away from Skinner when he has such a great Game 4?
Of course it would be.
That's where the comment would go to.
Of course.
No,
right?
it would be the team in front of him's fault.
No, I think, or there'd be some that would be just like right now pointing like, how could you not go to Skinner? Look at his numbers in Game 4.
Oh, yeah.
That I think that would come up more than the team in front.
And Skinner didn't play Game 4 in that LA series. And I think everyone looks back at, like, people forget about that. So, like, they haven't always gone to Skinner for Game 4. It's not like they've kept track of it. But to be fair, like, the Vegas series and the Dallas series have helped those numbers since. So, but he hasn't played every Game 4 since he's been an Oiler.
True.
And Leon had 0 shots.
Yeah, I heard you say that on the post.
0 shot attempts.
He did not play well.
Like,
Connor was invisible.
Concern of Connor leaving to the locker room.
Sure.
it was quick, though.
Maybe he was just pissed off because he got hit.
Yeah.
Maybe he just needed to go in the hall and scream.
Yeah.
And then he just came back.
That happens.
Because he didn't look like, I don't think his poor play was due to that. I just think I think Florida did an excellent job on him.
Yeah.
And that hit was a
good hit.
man.
He got caught.
Yeah. So
Good read.
I think you still need a little bit more from some of these guys. Like it's the depth now, it's slipping just a bit, Enrique, Brown, Janmark, Arvidsson, like you need those guys to start stepping it up a bit. At least Trent Frederick mucked it up a bit yesterday, but I know on the postgame show, Tom, I don't know if you saw, but he was probably the second or third guy that was taking a lot of heat. Like they want him out of the lineup. They want Jeff Skinner.
They wanted him out of the... I'm sorry, Jeff Skinner is not built for this playoff series. He's just not. But okay. Sure.
No, but that's what I mean. Like people just want, they just want Frederick out because they feel like he's not bringing anything to the table. Right?
Well, he hasn't really done much.
And he hasn't.
Last night was probably the first time to me he's been somewhat noticeable in these playoffs.
Yeah, he finally got a little greasy.
Yeah.
So
I as soon as he cross-checked Bennett twice, broke his stick, and that skirmish ensued, I thought of what Reed said after Game 2, where you have to let Sam Bennett know what he did and how he was acting out on the ice was not going to be okay and not going to fly with the Oilers. And I thought at that moment, yes, it was a greasy play by Frederick to get the 2 cross-checks in at his ribs. But to me, that was Frederick and somebody from the Oilers finally sending a signal like, we're going to hurt you. Okay, you beat us this game, but we're going to hurt you. You can't go around here willy-nilly doing what you're doing. We're going to hurt you. And he did that because you could even see Bennett wince. And I thought, okay, that's what Reed was talking about post-game the other night. They did it.
He got some good shots in on Frederick, though,
Yeah,
when the linesman was on top of him. They got to stop doing that, man.
The linesman?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're idiots.
Like, seriously.
Just to add insult to injury, the puck dropping is just so bad. It is. I mean, we know how bad it is, but like,
Just drop
The
damn
officials
puck.
suck. Okay,
They're terrible.
they're bad.
Take off the cape.
They they are not good. I know we need them to have a game, but the ones in the NHL right now are not setting a good example. They suck.
I have nothing to add.
Yeah, they're not good.
Okay, so this is the weird part of the series. We don't have to wait 1 day before the next game when it's in one city. It's 2 days before the next game because of the NBA, and then it's a short between 4 and 5. The extra day off. Who does that favor? Oilers or Panthers?
Whoever's dinged up the most.
You think that's the way you're going to go with that
Yeah.
one? Okay.
I think the Oilers, because I think Florida, like they'd probably want to go tomorrow because they're feeling good.
Oh, yeah.
right. And the Oilers now have a day to kind of just relax and kind of they're probably going to watch a lot of video work, and like you said, get some rest. Because if McDavid is a little bruised or whatever from that hit.
Big Uke also, it could be skate thing at that time.
Yeah. So
Maybe something popped up equipment at the very least.
I think it's beneficial for the Oilers these 2 days.
It also helps them, that extra day helps them put yesterday out of their mind, or it naturally allows yesterday to come out of their collective conscious, I think. And I think that's a good thing. So I understand
Will
that.
they have a full day off today?
Let's see what they're doing. Their schedule says practice 1:15.
11:15 our time.
Yeah.
I see, and that's where I don't know. I can see it from the other side of when you lose like that, you just want to get out there and play again quickly.
That too.
Because you is you could let it get it out of your mind, but other, you might just sit on this and you might sit on that anger for a couple days and then not focus in where you should be type thing.
But I think because they're a veteran team, I think they can let it go pretty quick. I think by now they're already over it and they're just looking at it like they're probably going, guys, we can't act like we did yesterday. We're not going to win this series. We got to kind of turn the other way and let them come at us, and we just smile and wave.
Yes.
And play our game, right? So I think it's good for them. I know what you're saying, Matt. But like I think a younger team might let it affect them more. But this team I think they've been through it all, so they're pretty good at that. So I think they're over it already.
Where the flip side, where this could maybe favor the Oilers, is and now maybe this is, again, to your point, you could use the exact same point maybe against me on this one too. Maybe the Panthers sit there for an extra day feeling good, going, we got them.
Yeah.
We got them. We got them in game 2. We played very well in game 1. We lost in overtime. It was oh so close. And now look what we did to them. We're in their heads. And for an extra day, they're just feeling really good. And maybe they come out in game 4 not as crisp because they're just thinking, we've got this.
Because they're fat and sassy.
Fat and sassy. Let's go with that.
You know what scares
Breads.
You know what scares me about this Florida team? Is that goalie Bob can steal one here.
Sure.
That's when I look at game 4, I think the Oilers are going to be much better. And I think the Oilers, I'm leaning towards an Edmonton Oilers win. But if there's one guy that scares me on the Florida Panthers, I can kind of steal that great
Was that
from
game
the Oilers,
this last
goalie
game, though?
Bob.
Yeah, he was good in the first period, right?
Yeah, but I don't think he was great.
Okay.
To be honest, I think he was good.
Flip side to this I will point to is that I've seen him, I would like to say the same thing with the Oilers have beaten this guy.
Yeah.
In this series. And they figured him out last year.
Yeah.
I think too. And as confident as he looked in some games, games 1 and 2, he's had some weaker goals that he's let in. And I'm not as concerned about that one. I think the Oilers can beat him. And I feel like maybe this was the closest that we're going to get to a Bobrovsky stolen hockey game.
Yeah.
He made the saves in the first period. Stu did not, even though the situation wasn't good for the Oilers. But yeah, I see where Maddie's coming from.
Yeah, they used Bob's great game in game 3, wasted it on a blowout, says Big Uke.
But again, I don't think Bob was I don't think we can sit here and say he stole that game. I think Florida was just
Well, I think, but maybe
miles
because
better.
we're not, because the Panthers then eventually just blew that game open and it was
He
over.
weathered the storm.
He
pretty
weathered
well.
the storm and then it was
The Oilers
done.
had a good push in the first.
And if the Panthers don't get some of their goals, I wonder if that's the game Bobrovsky actually is on and he doesn't let anything in, and that would have been the game he stole in the end. But because it's a blowout, he didn't have to then stand on his head throat for the rest of the game. I don't know. I'm not convinced that he's going to be able to go steal a hockey game for the Panthers the rest of the series.
no. But
I think this is one that this was it.
But I think he has the out of
I know what
both
you're saying.
goalies, he's got the most potential to steal one, right? Like it's goalie Bob, man.
I don't know.
He's good, but you're right. The Oilers have had success against him.
Skinner could go steal based on his game. I'll just go to game 4s. His last 2 game 4s.
He bounces back well.
He can go steal one.
So his power play's got to get going here.
It sucked.
I mean, I know the numbers are skewed a bit, but like he's power play, man. They got one yesterday, I know, but like 6 opportunities. That's the game, right, Tommy? Like I was thinking, like in the first towards the end, before the second goal, like Florida, like if Florida doesn't score that late power play goal, like I thought they were going to be in trouble because they had 4 opportunities, right? They scored on their 4th to make it 2-0. So they were in danger of losing a lot of momentum due to the power play. Like I said, they got the one right before the end of the period, and then the Reinhardt goal was a killer right when they made it 2-1.
And John Klingberg's yelling at Francis Sharon, but he was already bobbling the puck with pressure on him in the corner, and he literally skated into it. Like, I get it, get the expletive out of the way, and I don't disagree with that, but like, I saw him with the puck being hounded, and I thought to myself, uh-oh. And he skates into Sharon, quick pass goal. That was a dagger. And he's like, get the F out of the way. And it's like, maybe make a better play. But yes, also, it would be nice if the ref got out of the way.
-3 for Klingberg, his worst game by far.
Yeah.
He's
Does
been
he
really
see
good.
game 4?
I think so.
I'm
Or would you
open
go
to
with
Stetcher
Stetcher?
taking his spot. I really am.
Like I heard Gager with the Morning Boys, and he made a good point. He said, you know, like the way Florida forechecks, you're kind of seeing Klingberg slip a bit. Like he's
Gager made a
maybe
good point.
struggling with the speed of it.
Yep.
And the constant forecheck of the Panthers. So, but this is like I love Stetcher's effort and stuff, but he's not a good puck mover. So how does that help the Oilers? Where Klingberg is a better puck mover and can get the puck out quicker. Right?
Yeah. Oh, God.
Stetcher for the physicality.
He works hard.
Yeah.
He can move the puck.
But he's not as I like
If
compare him to the other six.
Who's better with pressure on them, Stetcher or Klingberg? Because if Klingberg has that extra second, he's by far better than Stetcher.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
But who in a jam with pressure on them can handle it better and make the right play to alleviate it, get it to his partner, get it up to someone quick? That's the question I think is more pertinent here.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair.
Because John Klingberg all day, every day. If you give both those guys enough time, Klingberg's probably going to make the smarter, better play. But if you're taking away that extra split second, who makes the right play and who doesn't bobble it? Mm-hmm. That to me is the crutch.
That could be the one line change because Nuge got taken off the first power play, and it was Wallman when they
They
scored
put
the
Wallman
goal.
out there, yeah.
So was that due to his injury? Because he still was on the second unit for a bit.
Yeah, and then he did play later in the game too, so
Or was it just Knobloch saying this power play is not rolling right
it
now?
stunk.
I wonder if it's both.
Could be.
I wonder if it's his power play's not doing well enough right now, and also Nuge is battling. Was it wrist? Is that?
I think it's his wrist, yeah.
And that's where it's like, hey, the wrist isn't there.
Yeah.
I need to go make some other move on this line. Okay, let's make this change. So I wonder if it's a mix of both. That like if Nuge wasn't battling the wrist, does he make that? I'm not so sure, but he might still try to do something else on that power play because it wasn't going well.
Wallman looked good on that one power play when they scored. Like,
Yeah.
He moves the puck well, good shot.
He got a little carried away yesterday too.
Yeah, he did. He's 29 years old. But he was losing it. He was far too.
That's where no one tried reining the team in.
Yeah.
And if there's one thing, that's where Connor and Leon needed to do a better job of reining their team in.
Well, then I think Skinner said Leon post game said Leon got up and addressed the team, and Skinner said it post.
That's your one.
Yeah.
Basically, that's your one. No more.
I'm just intrigued that it's Leon, not McDavid, and it's okay.
That's fine.
The way I look at those two guys, and I've never really watched those series to see in depth in the locker room.
They're not that good.
But
haven't
it's
watched them
I always Leon seems like the vocal one, the Jason Moss, if you will,
Mark Messier to the Wayne Gretzky.
and
Yeah.
Connor McDavid looks like the Ricky Ray, Mark Messier, calm one. more will lead by example type thing.
Yeah.
You follow them, but Leon is the one that's going to speak a little bit more.
Yeah.
And Leon probably said, "Hey boys, like we got to rein this in." Like
I'd also be more
us.
scared of Leon yelling at me than
Yeah.
Connor yelling at me. I'm not going to lie. I see that man getting a little upset, Leon. I think I would be a little terrified type thing. Oh boy, Leon's pissed with me. Uh-oh, I got to deal with this.
And I thought Skinner was really candid in his post game.
He always is.
I know people hate him, but
He always
I thought he
is.
was great and said all the right things.
He's probably one of the more interesting post-game interviews you will see in hockey. He doesn't give you the cliches. He doesn't give you just the average, I would have liked that one back. We need to play better, puck steep, hard, all that.
And
he
he's-
actually gives thoughtful answers to the questions. Skinner is one of the best post-game interviews.
And
to
he
listen
said it on the Reinhardt and Verhage. He goes, yeah, like of course I want to stop. I should stop those. I want to stop those.
That's
Like,
good, but that
He's
was a great
owning
shot.
it. Like he's not here saying, "Well, it was a great shot and nothing I can do." Like I appreciate that. I appreciate a guy, especially a guy that's as Stuart Skinner knows the market here and how much they're all over him. Like, and I love that he's just kind of does his own thing and stays positive. And you got to give him credit, man. He's taken a lot of heat.
Oh, yeah. Has he ever?
And I include myself in that too. Like when he was bad during the regular season, I was all over him. But
and he deserves a lot of the
Sure.
criticism he got this year.
He didn't have a great year. He
He
really
didn't have the best game yesterday, but he doesn't deserve to be the focus of the anger for yesterday. It should be spread out across the team.
The funniest.
Like that's the one thing I will point to on that one.
You're right, Maddie, but I'll add this. The funniest was when he got, I think, the third shutout and Dusty popped off on that post game at Hudson's the one night. People are like, oh, it's just the team in front of him. I'm sitting there reading these. I'm like, yes, finally you get it, but you're like kind of missing the point here. It goes the other way too, and that's what happened for most of the season. And then on top of that, he wasn't that great. He lost his confidence. They played
That's
Pickard
actually-
more. Like,
Yeah, that brings up. That's actually the point. I saw it a bit yesterday, which was it's never. And I think early in the show, it's never Skinner's fault. It's never Skinner's fault. But if you're gonna say that, you also have to be ready to be praising Skinner when he deserves it.
right.
And those people I don't find a little too much. I think they were just very quick to want to come out and rip on Skinner. And for the most part, most of those people, not all of them, there are some that are good critical both ways and give praise. But
The vocal
will
ones.
they'll sit there and say when the Oilers, well, it's not Skinner wasn't great. The team was great. He just made the saves that he had to. And then when he loses, it's well, he's just crap. He's the worst. When it's always a mix of everything,
Yeah.
and that's
you can't win right now with Stuart Skinner. That's why I just
You can't win the argument, is what you mean. Yeah, exactly.
I try to just leave it now.
He's just like,
There's no
okay.
point.
Yeah, no, sorry. I can't deal with
Driving
this.
me crazy. It's making my hair go gray.
But very distinguished, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
But I just remember sitting there and Dusty's popping off and I'm reading these texts and I'm going, so he gets his third shutout in 4 games. And you're saying it's all because of the team and and we don't
course.
recognize that the team in front of him is the reason why he's getting these shutouts. And I was like, hang on a second. This is like bizarro world, the upside down we're living in, because when they were losing games earlier in the season and the team sucked and they weren't committed to defense and we were saying that, but people were blaming him. I'm like, oh, you guys. Not everyone, just some people. There's a vocal group.
It's a
that
small
just like,
group, yeah.
come on now. Come on. I'll hold your hand. I'll show you the way.
I just don't get this comment from X-Ray J in the nasty chat. Wow, blown away are the EST rose-colored glasses available for sale. Obviously, thousands of Oilers fans' visions is incapable of watching a poor hockey performance and finding a perfect kernel in crap. Where are we?
What does that mean?
I don't know what that one means, X-Ray J. Like, the whole team wasn't good enough yesterday.
No.
We've said that. We've talked about that. This isn't on Stuart Skinner exclusively. This wasn't a game where we sit there and go, the offense was playing really well and the defense was doing good things. Skinner just was he was just awful. I will ask you, X-Ray J, on that one. Which players yesterday were average or better? And I'm going to lower the bar to average in that hockey game. Name them all. Name every single player that was average or better in that game. And maybe Corey Perry.
Maybe.
That's it. So if no one else is average in that hockey game, how could you exclusively look at one player and go that one player was the only reason the Edmonton Oilers lost? Is Skinner part of the reason the Edmonton Oilers lost last night? 100% he is. But are other players to blame for the Oilers losing last night?
Yeah.
Is the undisciplined play of a lot of Oilers led by Evander Kane started that game a problem from last night, and one of the reasons 100% it is too.
Yeah.
So the narrative can be spread out across the way, and you can't just dismiss what Stuart Skinner has done from game. I'll throw game 3 in there. It was a bad ending to it, but game 3 of the Golden Knights to now.
Mm-hmm.
The majority of what he has done, and by majority, 90% of it, has been excellent. It has been Stanley Cup worthy. Where is that going against what other people like? I just don't get that one. You tell me again how Stewart's performing the first 5 shots doesn't impact the game. They do. They do, but it also doesn't help when your team's undisciplined and Evander Kane's taking multiple penalties and your team's going on the penalty kill to start the game multiple times.
Penalty kills running around like a bunch of chickens with their heads cut off too.
There's then just no flow to the game to start that game for running your lines and rolling them out there and dealing with those things. Now your team's just completely undisciplined.
They've lost 5 games since game 2 of the first round. Like, enough with this crap. He lets in the first 5 shots. Who cares?
There's been a goal in the first
wins.
2 minutes in all 3 games.
Skinner was bad yesterday in that. Yeah, he deserved his pull. But are you, because X-Ray J is bringing this one in, are you saying Stuart Skinner should not play game 4? Because then I will again go back to the numbers, which is 6-0 in games 4, a better than .954 save percentage, a less than 1.3 goals allowed average, and 2 shutouts. Why would you dismiss those numbers? And why would you dismiss the idea that this guy actually does play well in back-to-backs? And then sometimes goalies do have bad nights, because I will go back to, should the Florida Panthers not have played Sergei Bobrovsky in game 7 of the series against the Leafs?
They lost 5-1 the game prior, and then they had lost game 4 8-1. I'll reiterate that. That was last year when they won the Stanley Cup. Also, I'm curious about this kernel in the crab thing. What does that mean?
You're finding the positive.
The kernel in the crab, huh? Okay.
So Bobrovsky, if we're going to go with this, I'm going to just find his stats from that Leafs game, because he got pulled.
Oh, yeah. We got Tony Stolarz in that game.
Tony, hey?
Yeah.
882 save percentage in that game. Wasn't good enough. Oh, did he get pulled in that one, or was it a different one I'm thinking of? Oh, but in any case, he loses 2-0 to the Leafs. 882 save percentage in a crucial game. Actually, his start to the Leafs, 833, 800, 871. Not good enough. They shouldn't have went to him in game 4 of that series against the Leafs. Like, sometimes goalies have bad games. Bobrovsky has had some bad games this series. Stuart Skinner had a bad game. He absolutely deserves a shot for game 4.
I have a couple texts I'd like to read. JJ Jakubik, great name. Winner of the next game wins the series. They will ride the momentum and take control. Al, I haven't heard from Al in a little while.
Big Al?
Just Al.
Al? Okay.
Yeah.
I miss Big Al.
We used to have Big Al, yeah.
He was smart enough to realize that we had so 780-444-1260 had 3 lines actually we had. But we also had a toll-free line, 1-800-243-1945. He would call that number, and it would come through directly. So most people are calling the regular line.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
would call it toll-free, and it'd be a 4th line for us, and he'd get through quicker.
Nice.
Way to go, Big Al. We miss you.
That line would ring, and I'd be like, it's Big Al here. And I'd pick it up, hey, TSN 1260.
Hello,
hey, it's
Big
Big Al. Oh, hey, Big Al.
Well, this is just Al. Al makes some good points. I like Al's text, actually. Says, hey, boys, hot take. Perry can't play first line. He's getting absolutely caved possession-wise. Al is big into analytics, by the way. His hands are still silky smooth in front of the net. Saw that last night. But he cannot forecheck and cannot get the puck back to McDavid. Draisaitl is playing with 2 players who can't get the puck to him. Swap Kane and Nuge. And then Al says, how is Jeff Skinner not built for this series? Marchand seems to be doing just fine. I think 13 of Skinner's 16 goals came from within 15 feet of the net. He is sneaky greasy. Also, the lefty needs to stop. Florida is preying on it. I think that's on the back end Al's referring to. Tommy, why does Brown kill penalties with his stick at waist level? Him and Janmark are getting eaten alive on the PK all playoffs long. Yeah, Al, that last one about the PK, I have no idea. And yes, Connor Brown looks like he's got the pitchfork out. I understand where you're coming from now. PK is bad. It was 8 for 11 last night, allowing 3. Jeff Skinner, how is he not built for this series? I mean, if you want to compare him to Brad Marchand can play physical, tough hockey. I like the point about Jeff Skinner scoring in tight. I'll give that to Al 100%. Jeff Skinner can score those greasy little goals in tight. They count. Those are important. That's a sign of a sneaky, greasy player. But it's just like the physical play. The pace might not be there. Like this is not suited to his style. So the responsibility in his own zone on the wall, I would be concerned about. Not that Kapanen has been particularly good the last couple of games, but and some others.
Marchand is just a better player.
Marchand's just overall way better player,
It's not
more
even
effective.
close.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
Right? Like there's that one difference of Brad Marchand is this guy's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
He's won a lot. He's done a lot in his career.
you want to play a ground and pound game? Brad Marchand at 5'8" or whatever the hell he is can do that.
Yeah.
Jeff Skinner at 5'10", 5'11" doesn't do it.
And I like Jeff Skinner. I mean,
Yeah.
Won a game playoff player.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
2 points.
2 points in 2 games. -1 only. Only a
All
-1.
right.
Only a -1.
And I think in his first game, he had his highest hit total since like his rookie years.
All right.
Yeah. Swain's always sending me these.
I love when I hear that in the post
Crazy.
game. My buddy Swainer's got another stat. Like, oh, where's this one going today?
It is crazy.
Okay, I got to go back. X-Ray J again. Sure, Matt, those stats matter. Yet Stu save percentage this season. A 50-plus game sample is on the team's performance, not Stu. If you actually won with me, X-Ray, I have been rather critical of Stuart Skinner's performance at times throughout this season. But I don't give a damn about the regular season right now. Just saying.
Who cares?
The one thing I have said for this entire time, I don't care about the regular season at all. The regular season's over. The regular season doesn't impact the Stanley Cup Finals. Doesn't impact the conference finals. Doesn't impact the second round outside of injuries. That's the only thing that it impacts in that series.
If that's the case, criticize Klimberg. Criticize all the guys that were crappy in the regular season.
It's one of those in the games when they matter most, because like we could criticize a lot of these players on this team. They actually have played at a different level in the playoffs than they did in the regular season.
Yes.
Period. Across the board. Stuart Skinner, late in the Vegas series, through Dallas, and through the first 2 games of a 3-game series, which should be a long series against the Florida Panthers, has been fantastic. I will go that far and say fantastic. That I was making an argument last week about how can you get into the Conn Smythe conversation. Now that's not happening anymore.
Out the window.
But the guy has 3 shutouts in these playoffs. The guy has had a couple of 1-goal games. He has kept his team in it. He allowed his team to go and win game 1. He kept his team and gave him a shot to go win game 2 in this one. One bad game. What are we doing here then? What are we talking about? Like, seriously, one bad game, you're going to all of a sudden say, no, this guy shouldn't play game 4, where he has historically also just brilliant.
It's
if you have a hate on Stuart Skinner, that's fine.
Just
But
say you hate
sometimes
Stuart
don't
Skinner.
allow that to cloud your exact judgment of what this team should do moving forward. Now, look, the Oilers may go with Stuart Skinner and lose game 4, and it'll be terrible. And you can sit there and say, I was right. Good for you then at that point. But I expect then the reverse, though, is that if Stuart Skinner goes out there and is game 4 Stuart Skinner, and come back, you say you're wrong about all this.
Oh, there'll be crickets.
Quickly, because VR wants to
go
know,
ahead.
Where's Hellebuck right now, as VR says? Hellebuck was amazing in the playoffs. He's going to win the Hart Trophy in a couple of days. You see the leak?
No.
Did it leak?
Oh, there's a picture of a leak with him with the Hart Trophy.
Oh, really?
The one guy, because they're doing this with the pictures and being surprised with things.
Gotcha.
The one guy came out, he's like, hey, surprise, nothing's been leaked yet. And then there's a picture of Hellebuck with the Hart. So it sounds like he might win the Hart Trophy.
Oh, boy.
Hellebuck was the Hart Trophy winner this year in the regular season. How did that impact the playoffs for the Winnipeg Jets?
He was terrible. That's 2 years in a row he's been dog crap in the playoffs.
Skinner hasn't been good enough or wasn't good enough yesterday. And at times in this regular season, he wasn't good enough. Skinner, though, absolutely deserves a shot in game 4 to rebound. And also because he's Mr. Game 4. Best all time in NHL history. History.
Okay, that made me laugh. Collingwood Rob also made me laugh with this one. Klingberg looked like someone following GPS instructions and they drove their vehicle into a lake, except in this case, he drove directly into the referee. I thought that was pretty funny. I like that one.
That's good.
Yeah.
This is the EST Hangout presented by Sentinrl Storage, Canada's storage experts, more than 2 decades helping Canadians through life transitions. Canadian storage provider. Find a convenient location nearest you. Indoor units, outdoor units, as well as storage for like RVs and stuff. Sentinrl.ca. Tommy, Hernan, Matt, Benny with you here on the Hangout here in Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton Sports, presented by Play Alberta. The promo codes for the month of June, we got EST Casino, EST Sports, as well as YAG 50.
You're getting riled up.
Yes.
Usually you're like really dialed in, calm, cool, collected.
Well, it's just the recent, like how we could just throw away the recent history. I don't understand. I just don't get that part of this. You know, and I'll go this far even. And yeah, Skinner should start game 4 even with a short lease. I'm okay with that. If a couple early goals go in that aren't looking good, I have no problem with it.
Yeah.
Just change at that point. But I don't know why you wouldn't go like one bad game and he's getting a pull when in the first 2 games he was outstanding in my mind.
Yep. Bronco Nick says 2 games in a row, Kane has taken an early penalty. Can he at least wait till the second period to take his obligatory unforced penalty?
They won't call it in the second, though.
No, evidently not. Let's quickly go over these penalties. So you get the high stick on Marchand, sells it like a pro. Still a bad penalty. You can't get your stick up there like that. Mm-hmm. The hook, that's a hook, right? You can't do that. Draisaitl, bad recognition on the too many men. That's just
There are 7 guys on the ice.
There's 7 guys on the ice. And then Arvidsson, Bobrovsky did a great sell as well.
Yeah, that was a bad
went
call.
flying back. But like,
yeah,
you're already taking penalties. Like maybe.
I think Friedman said he would like the embellishment there a little bit on Bobrovsky.
Well, his leg goes flying up in the air like he got shot, and really, like, again, a little guy bounces off of him.
there's a penalty at the end of the second with the cross check. Who was that? Remember? In the scrum at the end of the period? No, that was
Is
at
that
the end
the
of the
one-
first.
Yeah, and
At
then
the end of
Yoda scored on
second.
that
Was
early
it
power.
Nurse?
End of the second, Nurse got a cross-checking against Lindell. The only penalty in the second period.
That was a brutal, like, come on. Like, they were doing that all game, and then he calls it at the end of the second.
right,
Yeah,
yes, I know what you're talking
that was a
about.
brutal call.
Yeah.
Just how it goes sometimes.
Where's this whole illness thing coming from? Everybody's like, I think they're sick. I think they're sick.
Where does that come from?
Connor Brown was sick.
Connor Brown was sick, and then
Okay.
some people heard Chris Knobloch speak in an Avail
Okay.
one. They said, "Oh, he sounds a little off," and now
sounds off? Or
like,
did he say,
sounded
I'm sick?
No, he sounded sick.
Okay.
So people have run, I
find
think,
out.
with that, which is they've been sick. There's got to be something going through this. That's, I think, where it's come from.
Okay, I'm going to find out. Because everyone's texting me like, are they sick? I'm like, it's freaking June. Like, it's 20 degrees outside.
Jen, I'm not sure who brought the bear, but 0-2 with it in the office.
We're
Get
going to
out
burn
of
it,
there.
Jen. Don't
That's
worry.
not true.
It's getting lit up.
That's the. Oh wait, no, it would be true. Because Jay brought it in on Friday. Don't worry, it's leaving the Hangout studio tomorrow. Sorry, Bear. It should have a name. I don't know what name we'll call it. Tomorrow on the show, Benny's going to sit in with Tommy and I for the first hour. Then he's going to slide over because Royce Metier and Nick Anderson,
Wow.
of your Edmonton Elks, will be coming in studio for an
awesome.
hour. So excited to have both those guys.
That's 2 great guys to have in.
Nice.
I'm excited to have them. Excited to see what they're doing over bye week. They'll get going on Saturday, I think it was. After their bye week, getting set for Montreal next Thursday. But yeah, I'm excited to have them.
No, it's gonna be great.
I haven't spoken much to. I ran into Royce Mitchell at an event last week. But Nick Anderson, Jay and I interviewed him at Rookie Day, or Fan Day. He's awesome.
He's great.
So I'm excited to have him on here. So yeah, the bear will be gone, and we won't put the bear back for Thursday's game. If the Oilers win, then we know it's the bear in the Hangout studio, and the bear will stay out of the Hangout
Stupid
studio.
bear.
But if don't say that.
Unbelievable.
But if the Oilers happen to lose, then the bear will be brought back at some other point. Maybe we'll have him do the show with us one day. Can have its own comments and stuff like that. Yeah, Mex, it's off screen. I can barely see it.
Yeah, it is.
Did you get that though?
Yeah.
The barely see it. Okay, just making sure. Just making sure everyone got that one.
That's from Max Bezuzu?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
Is there anything else you guys want to get into in yesterday's
No,
game?
I'm done. Move on.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Right, Tommy?
No, let's really deep dive.
I don't really want to get into this one much, but thoughts on Bettman saying there's nothing to the tax.
Yeah, I mean, what did you expect? He's always gonna defend the league, and he's a little rude, little bugger. You know how he is. I thought it was a fair question. I think there is an advantage for sure, but It's Gary Bettman, man. He'll never admit anything's wrong, ever.
Gary.
The fans loved the digital boards, I think he said at one point.
Well, there's no problem with the officiating. Arizona worked as a hockey market. Like
They're going back.
Yeah, like it's.
Okay, there was a time I remember Mac T and Kevin Lowe would use Alberta and like how there's less tax here and it was an advantage to come here as part of their pitch to potential free agents.
Rest of Canada, we have some of the lowest taxes.
Yeah. So this isn't really a new thing. And it's not like it's new in those states either.
Yeah.
It's just now
why I don't have an
being
issue
discussed more. Like everyone knew Montreal. Like if I'll just wrap it up with this.
Go
I remember I can't remember which player I talked to. It was a French Canadian guy, and I was like, "Would you ever want to go play for the Habs?" He goes, "Not a chance." And I'm like, "Why? Like don't all like French Canadians want to play for Montreal?" He's like 50% tax. And everybody hates you there if you're not playing well. And I'm like, you're from there. He goes, I don't care. He's like, the taxes are BS. And you can't, like, unless you're on a good team, they hate you. And I was like, okay, sounds good. But he said taxes first and how steep the taxes were in Quebec.
Why I don't have an issue with it is when the Panthers are bad and the Lightning are bad, we don't talk about the tax advantage that
Exactly.
they have.
Right.
When they're good, yeah, it helps them stay good. I guess that's the one advantage they have, that it'll allow them to stay good longer. But they've been bad. The Panthers were bad for a very long time, and never once did we talk about the state tax advantage that they have. Because as you say, Tom, this isn't new.
Right.
Florida didn't just announce no state taxes so that it's easier to go there.
They were bad for a long time.
That's the thing, and that's what, like, we don't hear that. Like, why aren't the Miami Dolphins the best team in the National Football League?
Yeah.
Like, why aren't they doing even better? Why aren't some of these states, like, why are the Vegas Raiders not one of the best teams in the National Football League? Why is it a hockey thing specifically? Like, even in basketball, I don't know, the Heat having, Jimmy Buckets leaves. Jimmy Butler goes to Golden State. Or the Heat going to immediately get good by bringing everyone? Now, Giannis might go there because of the state tax thing, but it's not like a guarantee thing. The Heat haven't won a title since LeBron left.
People go to the Panthers because they're a good team.
Well, and then now you go to the Panthers, and you could take a little less to stay there because they're good right now. You want to go there because they're good. But you could also flip this, and any Canadian market does have somewhat of an advantage because you're playing in American dollars.
Yeah, big time.
And you live in this country, and you get to convert that to Canadian. You get a lot more money, and you're bang for your buck in the market that you're living in. There is an advantage right now to playing in Canada versus some other markets in the States because of that. So while I agree that there is an advantage to it, I don't think the league needs to look at this because partly it's like we only complain about it because these teams are good right now.
Yep.
But look at it also this way. Like a lot of their players are draft picks, right? Like they've been there since day one.
Verhaeghe was like, how did they get him from Tampa? Was it not a waiver pickup or like a cheap signing?
But then
Let me look at his trade tree. Like,
Yeah.
Sam Reinhart traded.
Yeah.
Seth Jones traded.
Yeah. Ekblad drafted.
Sam Bennett traded. Yeah.
Chuck traded.
Kachuk traded. So it's not like these players are selecting for it. They got traded there.
Who was their big free agent signing? Bobrovsky? Like
Bobrovsky?
8 years ago when
Yeah.
everyone said it was a terrible contract?
Yeah.
When it was a terrible contract.
When they were a
companies
bad
too.
team.
Yes.
And then the flip side to that too is like, I guess it's keeping those players there.
Sure.
And they could shave a little bit off, but in the end,
Okay.
it's once again, it goes to when the Panthers get bad, which will happen again soon. Here,
Yeah.
there's going to come a point.
Cyclical.
Lucerainen.
We're not going to talk if the NHL doesn't do this. We're not going to also start talking about state taxes again. We'll forget about it.
Marchand traded. Lucerainen traded. Lundell drafted. Gadjevich drafted. AJ Greer traded. Like we're making it sound like all these players went there in free agency. That's not true. That's all false. And sure, the state tax and all that, it helps.
Absolutely.
But
Again, it flips it because if you're Connor McDavid, or Leon Draisaitl, you get a new contract next year, right? It kicks in.
Yeah.
The whatever he's making, is it 12? What do you get? 14.
No, 14 and a half.
So that should get him about 17.5 million Canadian.
That sounds like pretty good.
Like he's
amounts of
actually going to
money.
have a lot more to live off of in Canada where he lives versus what he's getting, and that isn't. And if you're in Alberta, we don't have a PST, we don't have an HST. There's an advantage that way. So we have an advantage in Edmonton and Calgary for those teams versus the other Canadian teams. We're going to also put something in place because of the provincial sales tax. Like That's where I think this is this idea that everything has to be equal is kind of, to me, just a little ridiculous.
Al chiming in again says, "Hey again, boys. There is no tax advantage for Florida." I said, "Show your work, Al." All caps, a la Joel. Joel, hello if you're listening. So he sends an Alan Walsh tweet, and Alan Walsh said, "I'm shocked at how uninformed this take is." It was Berkey on the taxes from a few years ago. Alan Walsh said, "Players in Canada can set up a retirement compensation agreement, RCA, and limit their tax liability to a flat 20% with sound tax advisors. An NHL player can actually pay the same or less tax in Canada than they would in Florida or Vegas or Nashville."
There you go.
Work the system.
It is an advantage when these
Sure.
teams are good. I'll stand there, but there's a lot of advantage to a lot of other things. The weather is an advantage for everyone down below it. Like, hey, Arizona had great weather. Never made them a great team all the time.
Who in Florida has taken less money to stay? Who can confirm that?
Well, Brad Marchand's one that's being rumored that there might be.
But he's older
staying
too.
there
He
'cause
wasn't going to
state
get paid
tax.
big dollar, right? Like he's got how many
I
years
think the
left?
term is more like they like it like Nick Paul in Tampa.
Yeah. What
Tampa
about that
would be a
Yanni
bigger
Gord
one,
deal?
Like 70, like it's like 7 years of $3 million or something. Like
Yeah.
probably.
I think Kucherov
Yeah.
was a deal where he probably could have got an extra
Egel.
mil or something. Like
Yeah.
we're talking about like a mil,
Yeah,
mil
yeah.
and a half, which is when you add it
Sure.
up, it's a player type thing or
Yeah.
two.
Yeah. Back to that Verhaeghe thing. Verhaeghe was drafted by the Leafs, ironically enough, and then was traded in like a 5 player swap for Michael Grabner.
Hey, he was a good player for a long
to
time.
the Islanders.
Yeah.
And then was traded from the Islanders to Tampa for Godlewski, goalie, who didn't really turn out to be anything. And then he was not issued an offer by Tampa, I believe, after winning the Stanley Cup with them. And so he was a restricted free agent. Wait, hold on, yeah, and then he went free agency and signed with Florida.
Okay.
So
He was
ended up-
available.
Yeah. He was.
Yeah.
He was. He was. Like,
He was in the ECHL for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, he was there.
Like that's just like, okay, you took advantage of Tampa not wanting this guy, and all of a sudden he blossoms into something.
Yeah. Any team can get him.
Yeah. In regard to the bug, the illness, there's been a bug going around for a couple of weeks. Brown was out, missed that time because of it. But this is nothing new. So they've been dealing with, like, it's not. When I posted this question, they're like, "What? Yeah, guys have been sick for the last few weeks. They're fine."
Yeah. Because I think Knobloch did a presser a week
He
ago or
was
so,
sick,
and he
yeah.
sounded sick.
Yeah, but that was after all the guys had it.
Yeah.
So
they're fine.
Non-fact.
Okay.
Sounds like it. Like
So they didn't lose 6-1 because they're sick.
the response
Sick.
I got at the end of that was, "Is that what people are talking about?"
To the state taxes thing, so I'm just looking at something here. I think Washington has no state tax. They're at a 6.5. Like, I think their sales tax is 6.5. Florida's at a 6. To a degree, Washington has a little bit of a better state, in terms of taxation. Mm-hmm. Where's Seattle right now?
Yeah.
So there's a way to go about and make it useful, but it doesn't guarantee success. It doesn't guarantee you'll get players. I don't think everything has to be equal. There has to be some sort of competition. Like,
I think what bothered people is that he said it's not an advantage. When yes, it's
100%.
Yeah,
But
it is, sure.
but it's the same as that. What else is Gary really going to sit there and say it
Yeah.
is an advantage? Like, let's be honest. If a
No,
commissioner's
that's
coming
why,
out saying it's like, and if it was such a big deal, then I would expect the owners, because there's a lot of owners in states that do not have sales tax, would sit there and say we need to get this changed.
And they bitch about everything. Those owners and the alternate governors and all that.
So-
they honestly do. New texter out of the Miami-Dade area.
Oh.
As a Panthers fan, it seems like the Panthers are dragging the Oilers to the deep part of the pool, and the Oilers are panicking. This series is not over, but Edmonton will have to go through hell to win this series. Welcome.
Well, they're gonna they're gonna have to go through hell. That's winning the cup, man.
I like that. We did get a lot, like last year and a bit this year. We had Vegas people coming in. We had way too many Vancouver fans come in. We've had Calgary people, obviously. This is our first little taste. I don't think that many from Florida last year, even in the final.
We had a couple.
A couple?
Same.
Sneak their
small
way
amount.
in. Oh, I like it. Good. They do like hockey down there.
It's us or they have Rod Peterson. And it's
Yes.
Bolts and
They have
Cats
Rod
podcast.
Peterson.
That's about it.
That's right. He's at every game.
Well, down there.
Yeah.
I don't know how he weasels his way into some of those things.
His show is on the Game Network. Or it was. I don't know. You've been on that show, haven't you?
I've never been on Rod Peterson.
Oh, maybe Dusty.
Eric has been.
Eric has. Okay.
Eric has a great appearance on that one.
Really?
Yes.
Is it available somewhere?
Yeah, you can go find that one.
I would love to see Eric on there.
It's wonderful. It was excellent work by Eric in that one. Portions of this hour of the EST Hangout, they are brought to you by the High Product Marketing, official merch partner of EST. Promotional products that bring the buzz. Check them out, highproductmarketing.com. You will recover from Elks loss on Saturday?
Yeah, I was, man, I was so excited for that game. Yeah, it's just a tough one for sure. I mean, 3-point game going into the fourth. You're right there. Even though certain parts of the game you weren't playing super well. Yeah, disappointing. I mean, I understand. Like, I tuned into your post-game show, and it was people freaking out about Trey. And I get preaching patience is kind of wearing thin with this team. I get it. But I think you're going to need a little bit more patience because you have a new coaching staff. You have a ton of new players. You have a quarterback that's going to need time. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. Like, he's in his first year as a starter. He's still young. He's still learning the game. He's going to be a roller coaster.
I'm seeing a lot of similarities to him and Skinner.
Yeah. So
A lot,
for me,
just easy to rip on him start, easy to come after him start, and also just not looking like in that game. Yeah, Trey wasn't good enough. I stand by that, and I will criticize parts of Trey's game. But it starts with your O-line,
yeah.
and he didn't have time.
No, but like, and this is the thing, Matt. Like, and I think we discussed it in the offseason where when you win the offseason, it usually takes the team a while to get going. And we all said, we're going to see it one of two ways. They're going to start really hot or they're going to start a little bit slow. And I think we're going to go through some tough games here, but I think it's going to turn.
I have 0-3.
It's a ton of new players, new coaching staff, like I said.
Tough schedule.
Like, you get Montreal, Winnipeg next.
In Winnipeg, too, where they don't win.
I think
Yeah.
It is a
point.
tough schedule that the Edmonton Elks are dealing with.
So it might be a little tough to start, but I have faith that they're going to turn this around. I have faith in Trey Ford. I'm not ready to give up on him after one game.
You can't.
No.
Some want to.
Already.
In that
Why am I?
post.
Do they like Skinner, those guys?
Well, that's the thing. Like, and that's where I'm seeing the similarities here, where it's like rip on this guy right away, and it's like first season as the confirmed starter. Like the 2 times he has come in as a starter for this team, basically the last years, was in save the season mode.
Yeah.
We're 0-7. We're 0-9. Trey, save the season. Like, he hasn't been.
It's not even say the season's like we're being like, we have to play you now. We have no other choice.
Yeah, but it's in such a disaster. It's like, oh well, you have to come save the season, and he goes and he gets some wins. Now he's the guy, and it's like, okay, well, he better be good right off the bat, or he's going to get ripped.
Yeah,
and that was the fair average. Like, he needs some time. Now look, if this team's 0-5, 0-6, is Cody Fajardo coming in as the starting quarterback? 100% he is.
Yeah.
That's football. It is a little quicker. It's a little more cutthroat than hockey will be. But at the same time, this is a tough schedule, and you need to improve. Now, can he be like he was on Saturday? No, that's not good enough. You know, his throws were not crisp. He was throwing them high, putting his receivers in tough spots where they were getting hit. But I also still look there and go, he had to move a lot because his O-line, like especially that right side, was getting destroyed.
One pocket pass? Is that
the stat?
I think someone was talking about? He
I'll have
had
to go
one
look.
pass from the pocket.
I think it was to Dunbar
Yeah.
for 13 yards.
And I will say, go watch the majority of the offensive snaps that were passing plays and tell me where the O-line didn't collapse quickly. Where
was
he
bad.
had time to stand in the pocket and make a throw. There wasn't a lot.
But and the other part, and this was not a concern, but you've seen Jordan McSimic in I was gonna say Buffalo, in BC. He had Butler 2 years ago. He had Stanback last year, and goes away from the run.
I know, that was
in games.
surprising.
And for the Elks to be successful, I think you got to have that balanced attack. Like, you have Rankin, who's outstanding. You have Javon Leake.
They were throwing to Rankin.
I know they combined for 10 carries. That's not enough. And I understand if you're down 25 at half.
Yeah.
I get you have to.
They
go
were
away
winning
from
at half.
They were winning at half. They're down 3 in the fourth quarter. Stick with the run
But
game.
here's the problem with that. So 7-3 after half. BC starts with the ball. They drive down the field, get a touchdown. It's 10-7.
Yeah.
The Elks get a nice return from Markel Smith. They're in field goal range. The first play was a handoff to Iwanyk. He got 0 yards.
Okay.
Next play was a sack.
Yeah.
Kick a field goal, miss it. BC drives down the field, touchdown. It's now a 10-point football game.
But you have to.
And then you go down the field, and then there was another one. So like right off the bat, the Elks, while they're in the lead, they only had 2 offensive snaps before the Lions got up by 10.
Yeah.
And one was a run. They got 0 yards on that carry, though. That's the issue. And that's where I could see why they, in the second half, couldn't get back to the run, was because all of a sudden it was 10-0 and they only had 2 offensive, or down 10 and they only had 2 offensive possessions. And then, that's where it's like the O-line also, were they creating holes?
That's a good point. Like maybe he saw something in the O-line, so it's not. But at the same time, you saw that the O-line, the pocket was collapsing way too quick. So why not? And then get creative.
Yeah.
Mix in some screens,
Yes.
mix in some tosses to the running backs, get them out in the open field, right, guys? Because the only
I'll
time
agree
the
with
Elks,
that, yeah.
the only time the Elks had success on the offense was when Trey scrambled,
I got to...
right? Because everything was breaking down.
Yeah.
Like that 18-yard run he had going backwards and finding Rankin was just, it was outstanding. It was ridiculous. It was like, and it was, well, I mean, they scored a touchdown anyway, but Rankin was really close there. But you got to see more of a balance, I think, especially with Trey at quarterback, because he's such a dual threat, right? Like he can throw, he can run, and then you have the thunder and lightning of Javon Leake and Justin Rankin. Like you can keep that defense off balance. Now, kudos to the BC Lions defense. They were really good. They were. Mm-hmm. They shut down Curley, they shut down Dunbar, they shut down Julian Grant. Maybe
How many targets did Curley get?
1.
Ooh.
He had 1 catch for 1 yard.
I think... Okay,
Julian had 2 catches.
Yikes.
And then Dunbar 2, I think, as well.
Gittins was targeted twice for 1. Julian Grant was targeted twice for 2 catches. Dunbar was targeted 4 times for 2.
And it was Mathis that got the most looks.
He got 8 targets, had 4 catches, 2 drops in there as well. A couple bad penalties, and at one point was literally looking at the line going like, I don't know, and he had no idea what he was doing.
I think he ran the wrong route.
Whoopsies.
Well, that was before the play. I don't know if he did, but it was like he was and he's looking and he's trying to like get something. He's like going to his head, and he then looks to the water receiver and he's like, his arms are up in the air. He's like, what's going on? And then the play snaps. You just see him run. You're like, they better not throw to Mathis on this play,
boy,
because he has no idea where he's running right now. So here's where to back to the running, and getting the run. So I found the playlist. So they go down 10. They then get a touchdown to go down by 3. They then BC march down the field to make it another 10-point football game. And this is where like you could okay, so they pass it, a rush, and then it's intercepted. That play. Why aren't they running to start that again? That's one of those. I know Trey said after the game the ball slipped. He didn't have a proper grip, and that's where he was not happy with the interception himself. Okay. And he said if he had a proper gripping and that he would have hit his target and it would have been a big gain. So I expect Trey to be better. I expect like the Oilers yesterday for the Elks, they weren't good in a lot of areas.
Yeah.
But I will stand by. I see players, and it was an execution issue on Saturday. It wasn't they just don't have players. I wasn't seeing no talent on the field.
Yeah, no, it felt different. Like you can see there's like the defense, there's something there.
Yeah.
And I know they couldn't get a stop, but sometimes you have to give credit. Like Nathan Rourke was dialed in, man. Like he's
back.
He's back, right? And I like what Killam said post game on the TV side. He just said Ford's got to play. Like that's what he said. He goes, he just needs the reps. He's like, we're gonna stick with him. He said the same thing about his kicker, which I think Vincent Blanchard. I think it's between the years. I think the confidence is extremely low. I think
him
a little bit.
Okay,
a little bit.
Because he was drafted by the team, right?
Yeah.
So he would have been kicking around, and you're still there.
Yeah, he's quiet, very reserved. But they got to bring in a kicker because, listen, they lost 31-14, but it was 7 points, right? At key points in the game where you can't miss. He almost missed the other extra point too. He just got it. Through the upright. So I don't know how much. And I know Hervey said on the morning show with the boys last week that they got to play him and they have a lot of trust in him, which is fine. But this team needs to win games, and if he's costing you a lot of points, you have to start. I'd be shocked if Ed Hervey's not looking for a kicker right now. And I'm not saying
They
take
had
him
that
out of the game.
Harveston or whatever that came in that
Yeah.
they played in Green Bay a bit last year, and they released him after like 2 days.
I think Blanchard gets the Montreal game for sure, and I think that's fine. Go, but you got to make your kicks, because if he misses again, just one in that game, I think at that time you have to give a chance to another kicker.
Narvison, not Harvison. Narvison.
Depends on what. Like, it depends, I think, overall stat line and what he misses. Like, if he goes 3 of 4
Sure,
and misses a 47-yarder,
it's different.
I can live with that. Like, there's going to, and I know Ed said on the morning show last week, he was talking about how you sometimes have to allow this growth and development because you don't want to lose a good player just because you're a little too, you rush it a little too quickly. But if it's like 1 of 2 or misses his only kick or something, and it's like a 30-some-yarder especially, then yeah, I'm with you. Like, it's all going to be dependent on how that goes.
And I think the Elks getting Montreal, I think they get them at the right time. Montreal plays Friday. Tough game in Ottawa. Ottawa's good. And then they'll get Saturday off. Sunday's day 1. And then they got to travel Wednesday. I think they're getting Montreal at a good time. Coming off a bye week. There's no excuses for the Elks come the next Thursday. Sorry. You're coming off a bye week. You're getting a team that's coming in to play their 3rd game on kind of a short week. You're flying across the country.
Yeah.
Like, at least that's the way I'm trying to be positive here.
I know.
I rather them face Montreal on their 3rd game on a short week and coming off a bye. I think the Elks, again, I don't think they have an excuse to lose that game.
This has always been the one game where I thought in those first 3, if they're getting a win, it's this game.
The Montreal game?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they can. Montreal's going to drop one here, guys. They're a really good team. I think they're
Davis
top,
Alexander looks good.
I think they're a top 2 team right now after week 1.
They're the best. They're going to be the best team in the East.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I think
Toronto.
I need to see
lost
Toronto with Chad Kelly.
They lost so many
I know,
players.
I agree.
Kelly's only started throwing a few days ago.
I know, but he is a really good quarterback.
Yeah,
Can he
he is.
elevate that offense a little bit more? Defense, I'll have to see a little bit closer.
I think
Bronco
the
Nick.
Elks. I think the Elks can win against Montreal.
Bronco Nick says Barry Hill's 2 touchdowns were scored on the same play, zone blitz off the edge, and left the safety to cover him. Bad play.
Yeah,
That's fair.
and keep in mind, Javon Coutoy dropped a pass in the end zone. They were stopped on the 3rd and goal from the 1. Like, the game could have been a lot uglier, I guess.
Could have, but at the same time, take away like those were the Coutoy drop. Okay, that's 1. So that's 7 points one way. But then Blanchard could kick. If he
7
made those
points.
kick, that's 7 points. That's a wash.
Yep. That's a good point. Yeah.
And I'll just get it was a killer one in this. Trey's interception just was the one that kind of was the dagger of the game.
Yeah.
It's a
that one
10-point
hurt.
ball game. Maybe you go and get some points. Maybe you can get 3. Maybe you can go get 7, and then you keep it tight. But then it just
But that's the thing.
floodgates open there a little bit.
You look at the scores, 31-14. Like, again, people look at it and they're like, it's a blowout. But the game was a 3-point game going into the 4th.
And yeah, where the defense did a great job forcing 2nd and longs. They just couldn't stop them on 2nd and longs. And I think if that defense comes on and plays the same way, they're getting those stops. If they get 1 stop in that 3rd quarter, or stop one of those 3 straight touchdowns that the offense had before Trey's interception, it's a different football game.
Rourke was out. Rourke was
brilliant.
outstanding, man.
He's the best player in the CFL now,
Yeah.
without question.
He had 2 Trey Ford-esque runs.
Yes.
Right? On breakdowns. I thought he was fantastic. And that's why there's something there with the defense, because in the first half, they were really good. They have far too much talent to be a bad defense. They're going to be good. JC Sherritt, I didn't mind his play calling. I liked the aggressiveness. I think you have to dial it back a bit because BC picked up on it in the second half, made adjustments, and burnt them on 2nd down a lot because they were so aggressive. But I don't mind that. I think you need to keep that, but maybe not so often. The return game, when's the last time we saw 3 great returns and 1 called back because Josiah Shackle's penalty? But again, I think there's a lot of positives, and I think Trey will be better. Don't lose hope.
Can you watch Winnipeg, BC this week and gauge Edmonton a bit more from what happens in that game?
I'd say no because you're not getting Zach Collaros.
Okay. Yeah, good point.
You're getting
That said, though, if they go and dominate that BC, because Clark doesn't play defense.
no, but
If they go and put up 30 plus in Winnipeg on Winnipeg, then that would give me, at the very least, it gives me more confidence in the Elks defense.
Yeah.
That's
a
like
good
who's going to stop Nathan Rourke type thing.
But also, again, context, right? Because Strevler's starting.
Yes.
Okay, so if Strevler can't keep the offense on the field,
Fair enough.
then the defense is going to be out there a lot more than they want to, tired, all that. And let's be honest, Winnipeg lost some good players, man.
Yep.
Tyrell Ford, Big Hill's no longer there. They're a lot older.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you right now, I'm picking BC to win that game.
Oh, so on my $50 bet at Play Alberta, YEG 50, YEG 50. Deposit 5 or more and get $50 free bet.
Wake the hell up, Ben.
Yeah, you're working.
Yeah.
I put it on. I did a 2-day game parlay. I have the Lions are only -2. They're only 2-point favorites against Winnipeg. I think they could win that game by 3+.
Yeah.
Easily. And then the Owls are the underdog in Ottawa. And Ottawa may be good, but I like the Montreal Alouettes, so I put those two together at +270. So I got a $50 free bet for a 135 win.
Cash it.
I'd take BC if Colorado's was playing.
I would too.
Really?
Yeah, I think their offense is obviously legit. I thought their defense is a lot better than I thought it would be.
Winnipeg gets off to slow starts too.
Yeah, Sean White's best kicker in the league.
Oh, I got lucky. The lines have changed. So the Lions line is now -2.5, by the way. The Owls are now, it's a toss, it's a pick 'em in that game. The Owls, I got a +100 on the money line. It's now -118. Otta's
Okay.
-120.
That makes sense.
So I
But
got
Drew,
a really
Drew
nice
Brown
number.
might not play though.
Really?
I know. Because he got rocked pretty good in that first game against Saskatchewan, and he was practiced, but he wasn't taking first team reps yesterday.
Matthew Shills was taking first team reps.
This one also interests me, and I was going to put it in my parlay, but I didn't want to get greedy. The Stamps are +150 on the money line, 3.5-point underdogs against the Argos.
Okay,
And I don't mind the Stampeders going into the season, but also I still don't know what Chad Kelly's stats. I don't think he's going to be starting.
Oh.
So I really like the Stamps taking on the Argos.
And Nick Arbuckle had one game of his life in the Grey Cup.
That's exactly
That's
it.
all
He's
you
not-
need, man.
Yeah.
But Nick Arbuckle's what we saw on.
Yes.
You did the Calgary game, obviously. Was Calgary that good, or is Hamilton that bad?
I thought Hamilton was just misfiring on all.
They were
cylinders.
bad. They
Yeah.
looked unprepared.
Yeah.
Their defense couldn't get a stop. Their offense looked
No,
awful.
no
And-
rhythm on offense.
And the biggest tell is Kenny Lawler in the third quarter was already shaking his head.
yeah.
Like,
I mean,
what are we doing?
Well, he didn't. I think he only had 4 targets in the first half, and 1 catch, and then he got the touchdown. They kept throwing it to him, and he was just jumping for it, and finally got the one. But it was in garbage time.
Yeah, it was just hope plays.
Yeah,
Like, here, go up
exactly.
and get it.
They didn't go to Tim White enough either. I didn't think.
No. They don't run the ball.
No. Yeah, it just seemed like Hamilton was
I don't know.
out of sorts.
I'm still kind of iffy on Calgary.
I mean, going into the week, I was like, Calgary might be the worst team in the league, and nobody's giving them any flowers. And I was listening to CFL 110, and I was listening to 3 Down Nations podcast, and I was like, geez, is Calgary really going to suck that bad this year? And then the offense lights up Hamilton, defense holds up.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that was clearly not a good read.
I think Hamilton will be the worst team in the league this year.
They
I
had
didn't get
nothing.
fully the hype around Hamilton
Neither did
and
I.
the disrespect to Calgary. That said, I did pick Hamilton last week, and it was a close one.
So did I.
I didn't know which way it was going to go. I didn't
Yeah.
know, it was just so close right now, and it's that first week of the season. I don't fully know. I like seeing Calgary and Toronto this week. I really like Calgary to win that one.
And Toronto, I don't know what Toronto was thinking, cutting Kadeem Gary and Kevin Brown. Because they couldn't
Turn and
run.
burn, cheaper and younger,
yeah.
right? That's
I mean, I can understand
that's a
Kevin
bit
Brown.
of a high wire act.
He's kind of fallen off. But Kadeem Gary, man, come on.
In Saskatchewan now too.
Yeah.
Paid
That
off
means-
for the gold miners.
That means AJ Ouellette is probably going to the 6th game. Another concussion.
Ooh, that's
That
not
poor
good.
guy, he just can't stay healthy. Good for the Riders. I thought the Riders looked good.
But injured. That's the only thing. AJ Lett goes down.
Milligan.
That's the big one goes down too. And Kean Schaefer-Baker went down. I'll have to see an injury report this week and see where they're all
Schaefer
at. But
Baker's just injury prone. Man.
yeah. But if they lose Roland Milligan for any period of time, that's a huge loss.
So
for
who
them.
for you, who looked the worst this week? Hamilton and would you have to say the Elks?
I didn't see the Montreal-Toronto game well because there's a weather game. So that one I kind of
right.
I don't know what Toronto fully did. I don't know how they looked in that game. So I got to take Toronto and put them aside on this one. I wasn't like Saskatchewan got up pretty big, and that's always a dangerous lead to have. That allowed Ottawa, I think, to march back.
Yeah.
Hamilton worse than Edmonton to me.
Yeah.
But Edmonton would, if I was power rankings this past week, Edmonton would have to be at near the bottom. But I could see Hamilton just being bad this year.
Yeah.
Again, I could see Edmonton just going, if you fix on the execution side, they have the players and they can go win football games. And I predicted a loss to a degree. Like I saw an 0-3 possible start to the season. So
Montreal's the best receiving core in the league. Like they're good.
Montreal would be up there as what? Montreal's probably my top team from the weekend. No, sorry, BC. BC's top, then Montreal.
Yeah. That Tice running back in Montreal.
Saskatchewan and Calgary are pretty equal to me, almost at that point from first week.
If you look at Calgary's offense, like VA has weapons to go.
Yes,
He
like
does.
Bagleton was good. Tevin Jones, I think, was a sneaky good pickup.
Dominic Grimes didn't do much.
Dominic Grimes didn't, and then obviously Clark Barnes had 114. Dedrick Mills, the 3 touchdowns. Like,
But he Dedrick Mills was a top running back
He's good, man.
last year in the
Yeah.
CFL. Like I think he finished, I want to say top 4, which I know some people, there's 9, but teams have other running backs too. The Elks had 4 or 3 of them yesterday.
I think
or
Dedrick
last year.
wanted to come back on post game interview because he came and found me, and I was like, I don't know, the truck didn't ask for you. Yeah,
I love guys like that. Like, you need me again?
Yeah,
he was good at half.
I think he got banged up for a couple of games last year. Dedrick
did.
Mills. Did he? Yeah.
Yeah.
923 yards while being banged up.
See, I'm
Like,
glad he's
there's a
getting the
running back.
opportunity. Yeah, he's a hell of a.
That's why I didn't get the full disrespect to the Stamps going into this season.
They do have 12 new starters on defense. That's
Their whole
insane.
defense
Their
new?
whole defense is new.
I don't know. It's
Pretty
not
much. Really?
I was talking with Dickinson. I'm like, you brought up that you might have 12 new starters on defense. How concerned are you? He's like, we will have 12 new starters on defense. Who knows what happens? I was like, holy
That's
crap.
crazy.
Yeah.
Because the Elks are 8 of 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
the
Bynum,
Elks-
Jackson, Anderson, Morgan. They're the only ones that are back.
Yep. The whole secondaries. Well, no, because Bynum's played last year.
Wow, that's
The whole front four is new.
I will say,
Front five.
looking at Play Alberta, and I got to get to over under for Play Alberta right away here. When I look at, they boosted this one. They have BC, Als, Stamps, Rough Riders, all to win on the money line. Odds boosted. That's plus 1140
Holy.
right now on. That's a max bet $50 for that one too. That's if you click on Football CFL, they created that one, Play Alberta themselves. I was like, they're all road teams. That's the scary part. So if I did, let's see if I did it this way. What can I get that way? If you take the Lions, so that was all money line. If you take Lions minus 2.5, Als on the money line, Stamps on the money line, and Riders minus 3.5, I get that to plus 1440. You go, maybe they can give a little boost. Do I dare do a Road Dog EST parlay up at Play Alberta?
Do it.
The Road Dogs to see what they could boost that one to. Oh, I got to think that one out. Because maybe I could get to like plus 1500. So it'd be 2 money lines and 2 spreads right there. Oh, I don't know.
It's crazy, dog.
I know. It's going to be a fun weekend. I got to get to Over Under, which is brought to you by Play Alberta. Right now, the promo codes for the month of June. EST Casino, when you deposit 20 more to get a $50 casino bonus. EST Sports, when you deposit 20 more to get a $50 free bet. Or YEG 50 when you deposit 5 or more. And you'll also get a free bet. I'm going to go back to the Oilers on this one.
Okay.
Combined between McDavid and Draisaitl, Thursday night, over under 3.5 points.
Over.
Think they're going to go off a little bit?
Yes. They were not effective at all yesterday.
Leon knows he didn't have a shot on net. He's pissed.
Benny.
I'm going to say under because the Oilers are going to win 3-1.
Look at this guy. Penny Goods. Bringing the goods.
I'm going to say.
You just said it.
Yep. I said it.
Benny Goods.
Benny Goods. Benny Blanco from the Bronx.
I've got a lot of nicknames around the office.
Benny Smalls.
What's your favorite one?
My parents love Benny in the Bronx.
You've seen Carlito's Way, right?
Great movie.
Yeah, but I like when I was
Benny
young.
Blanco from the Bronx. John Leguizamo.
John Leguizamo.
Leguizamo.
He was Luigi in the live action Super Mario Brothers movie from the early 90s. Nothing like getting a Latino to play an Italian. And I think the guy that played Mario was actually British, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice.
It was a very bizarre
The
film.
new Super Mario's awesome.
It was like total fan friendly.
Yeah. Not the Minecraft.
Benny from the Bronx.
Benny Blanco.
Yeah, I don't know. I've gotten all. I've gotten them all. Benny and the Jets. Benny Goods now.
Benny Goods is a green and gold legend.
Yeah. So
So we're about all over. So we're going with
Yeah.
So Oilers just gonna have their stars come out and kind of take over that game on Thursday.
Sure.
I had under.
You went under? Sorry.
Yep.
You don't
Went
think
under.
that they're gonna produce?
I think it's
just
because the Oilers are going 3-1.
Also a tight game.
Yeah.
Okay, but then who's getting the points in the three?
McDavid and Draisaitl are.
Yeah, so it's a combined though. So you don't think they can each
Three
get
and a
2
half?
points each? I had it at 2.5.
I thought you had 3.5.
Did I say 3.5?
You said 3.
3.5.
Oh, I said 3.5. So that's
Yeah.
4 points.
Yeah, under. Because there's only gonna be 3 goals.
Yeah, but on 2 goals, McDavid could like assist
Oh, I
both
guess, yeah,
Draisaitl's goals. That's my point.
Oh, I guess. Yeah, good point. No, I'm gonna say the depth of the Oilers.
The depth jumps up.
Yep, I'm gonna say Connor Brown scores, assisted by Adam Henrique and Jake Wallman, and then McDavid, Draisaitl, McDavid, or whatever.
The Oilers win in spite of Stuart Skinner.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh my.
What's the score going to be on that one in spite of Stuart Skinner?
Who knows, man? Just the defense will be amazing. They won't allow shots.
Oh, so it's like it's not going to score allow goals, but Skinner will basically have had to do nothing.
Nothing.
And the
Absolutely
only goal he
nothing.
lets in will be just the most atrocious goal.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
And people are like, Bobrovsky would have stopped that.
Yeah.
Really quickly, because I remember how bad the original Super Mario Brothers movie was. I was right. Bob Hoskins, who played Mario,
Yep.
was born in Bury St. Edmunds, UK. He passed away, unfortunately. And then, John Leguizamo played Luigi somehow.
Luigi.
It was, and Dennis Hopper was Bowser, I think.
That new one's got to be coming out next year.
They're making the second of the live or the animated.
Yeah,
Oh, that was so good.
I enjoyed it. It just and they hit on all the
Oh yeah.
all the things that you like, the things of that you need to recall and stuff, and they did a good job bringing it back.
I like when that he's singing peaches, peaches, peaches.
Oh, Jack Black saying that one. Yeah, and now the next one I think is gonna have more of a it's gonna, because you saw it at the end of the movie. It should have Yoshi in it. Because you saw the little Yoshis running
Now
at
you're
one point into
excited.
the thing,
Yeah.
but then at the very end after the credits there was the Yoshi egg and then it cracked. So you know Yoshi's coming in the second one. When is
Yoshi
that one
was
coming
great.
out?
This
A
tech-
sequel is set for April 3rd, 2026. We're less than a year away. Start the countdown now. Putting a clock up here in the
Let's
Hangout.
go.
Countdown to Super Mario Brothers.
Sean Z says, if Stetcher is in, the Oilers will win, and he has a sick Michael Grabner story.
Sorry, I got to call it Jasmine.
Why? What did
we
Jasmine
put a
do?
lot of stock into six
Choice
defensemen, eh?
Yeah, we do.
She said the new Mario cartoon was boring, zero storyline. What did you expect from a Super Mario
It's a
Brothers
Mario
movie?
Brothers movie.
They hit on all the key things that you need from the game, and they went and saved Toadland or whatever it is. They stopped Bowser. That's the storyline. That's the game. There is no other storyline that is necessary.
And the movie is made for kids.
Exactly. That's the movie. That's what it's.
What did you expect? Layers?
This isn't going to be an Oscar-nominated movie of any sort.
Character development?
Right, best screenplay sent to the Oscars. It's not going to be any of that.
Romance?
They got the cars going, and they got the dropping of the bananas. They hit on all the points they need to hit on.
Yeah.
What are you expecting for that?
Can we get a countdown for when Happy Gilmore comes out?
I'm looking forward to that. I watched
The trailers are incredible.
So what can we glean from the new Happy Gilmore? Is he still with
July 25th.
Veronica Bennett?
Yes.
Okay, and he has 9 kids,
Yes. It seems like it.
and then he's down on his luck, but
Some of his actual daughters are playing his kids.
Really?
In the movie. Yeah. Yeah.
so they got busy after
Yeah.
he won the gold jacket.
Yes. And then he's still driving the same car.
Yeah. So I love the Subway reference on the golf bag.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah.
Bad Bunny is his caddy.
Is that the guy that does the pepper shaker?
Where's the
Yeah.
other caddy? Did he pass?
Yeah. I don't
No,
know.
but there's a scene, and I think they have Will Zalatoris. And
I'm blanking. There's the Travis Kelce's going to be in it.
I saw Justin Thomas.
Yeah. Got a lot of golfers.
Zalatoris, sorry. And Zalatoris looks like he's strangling a caddy that looks like him from the original movie.
Yep. What was the guy with the missing hand?
Chubbs.
Chubbs' son is also missing a hand, and he shakes his hand and crunches it.
He's like, my dad loved you, man. That's
so
okay. I got some Gorilla Glue.
It just seems like they hit on all the good points of like the old movie.
Ben Stiller's back as Hal.
You're my role now.
Oh god, I love that scene where they're knitting the blankets and he's like on the phone trying to sell them. He's like, "Good news, everybody! Arts and crafts time has been extended by 8 hours." And then the little lady goes, "My fingers hurt." What's that? My fingers hurt. Well, guess what? Now your back's gonna hurt because you just pulled landscaping duty.
Hey, we use that on Zack to the Future.
It's so good. But she goes, you just hear, "My fingers hurt," and then he goes, "What's that?"
Hey, what's the new song?
Shut the hell up.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the new song Dusty played on the show today?
I didn't catch it.
Did you hear it?
No, but I found it's Alan Covert who played the caddy for Adam Sandler in the first Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of good stuff. Why isn't I hope he's in this movie.
But there is like Zalatoris, and he's like
Oh
shaking.
no, he is in the Happy Gilmore too.
Okay, good.
Because I was gonna be like, you got to bring him back too.
Yeah.
Okay.
He takes Happy's clubs and Happy like throws them. I'm your caddy.
Okay, sorry. And then he's like using the cracker as the. Yeah, have to have it back. I don't know what this new song was. Didn't hear the new song.
What was it again? It was.
While you think of that, portions of this hour, the EST Hangout, the official drink of the EST Hangout is the Finnish Long Drink Legend in 1952. A drink unlike any other sparkling refreshment. Real liquor, longdrink.com/Canada. Enter your postal code and find a liquor store and establishment nearest you with the long drink in stock, which is also going to include Rogers Place, as they have the deal with OEG. So if you're going to Game 5 on Saturday, as the series will shift Edmonton tied 2-2, you can go get a long drink for Game 5.
Nice.
I mean, did you figure it out?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's really catchy though.
It's so catchy that you remembered so well. The EST Hangout presented by Sentinrl Storage, Canada storage experts, more than 2 decades helping Canadians through life transition. Canadian storage provider by CanadianSentinel.ca. Hernan, Tommy, Matt, Benny with you here just for about 10 more minutes. We do have the lock shop coming up. 2 guys and a goalie. EST afternoons. Reed Welker show with Jay Milne. That goes until 6 o'clock. We got a VIP golf show replay coming up at 6 tonight. And then we'll join in progress the Riverhawks game. I don't know who they're opening up against.
They're in Kelowna.
They're in Kelowna?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what time's that game start then?
An hour after. So
I thought I saw the schedule. They might start games at 6 o'clock out there. I'll have to double check that.
Oh, okay.
What's coming up on EST afternoons right now?
Yeah, I'll obviously recap this game for sure. Continue to talk about everything that went wrong yesterday. Look ahead to Game 4 as well. We'll have Heat and Smoke with our guy Coop. And then we're going to talk some CFL in the second hour. Do a quick recap of Week 1. Look ahead to Week 2 with John Hodge. Since we have no Oilers for 2 days, we got to get into other sports on these days. So looking forward to it.
Canada, Ivory Coast, 6:30 tonight
Really?
at the Canadian Shield.
Okay, I got to ask you.
Yeah.
I was watching the first half of that game on Saturday. Like, is Ukraine that bad?
Well, they're
Because Canada,
equal to Ukraine in terms of the world rankings.
like 3-0 like that, I was blown away, man.
Well, that Promise is a good player.
Is he though?
I think so.
I watched him because I was like, who the hell is this guy?
He's newer. Where's he from?
Yeah, and I thought he was just okay. I'll be honest. I think Jonathan David's better.
Oh, of course. Well,
Yeah.
Jonathan David's going to Italy probably at some point. Promise is only 23. He plays in Belgium.
Okay.
In the Belgium league, he had 19 goals and 34 appearances so far.
Nice.
So like it's that secondary depth that you're getting.
Yeah,
Like,
good
you
for
got
him.
David. Laren's older, so you need some other goals. Promise is one of those exciting young players that could maybe come up.
Canada, I think is fine from the midfield up. I'm still worried about their defense. They're not very good. I like Cornelius. I know Bombito wasn't there, or maybe he didn't play. But some of the other guys that are playing on the back end.
Alistair and Bombito are good defenders.
Yeah.
They need 2 more other ones. And there is one defender for the Whitecaps.
Isn't Cornelius playing in Europe?
He was in Greece at one point. I
No,
don't
he's
know.
in Marseille.
Is he there now?
Where's Bombito?
Bless you.
They're both in Europe.
I think he's in France too.
Yeah.
But there's a white cap American,
That's the team.
Nice.
Or Nice. That's the team, Ben.
Nice is nice though.
Nice is nice.
There is a defender with the white caps. I'm forgetting who it is.
Did he play in that 5-0 drubbing by Cruz
No,
Azul?
Tristan Blackman. He's got some sort of Canadian ability to be a Canadian, and he hasn't been called up to the U.S. national team. And apparently, Marsh is trying to convince him to join Canada, which would be a nice addition to the defense. So if you have Bombito, if you have Alistair, if you have Blackman, I think you have a making of a defense. And maybe you do play Davies as a left back.
Is Davies hurt?
Yeah,
he got hurt from the Nations League.
Oh,
still
that's
out for a while.
Although his agent got mad at Soccer Canada. Or Canada Soccer.
That's right.
Well, and then but Bayern's still mad at Canada for that. So
Eustachio was fantastic in that
always is.
game.
Ishmael Kone is a good. We actually have a nice team looking ahead to next World Cup.
Buchanan played well. For a guy who's not getting a lot of minutes in Spain, he played well. I was impressed, man. I was like, is it really 3-0 right now?
You know,
And David's goal was Jonathan David's goal was fantastic. The little flick on header.
I'm surprised he's playing right now. Actually, truthfully, because he's waiting to find where his next job or team's going to be. Because he says he's leaving Lille. He's a free agent, and usually you might just stick around, like go and rest or try to be like, and I think Canada would accept that one for this moment. But it's
not hurting him
He
after
was
that
possibly going to go to Napoli, but then Conte stayed there, and it sounds like that might not happen. So we'll see.
So tonight, 6:30,
6:30. I think it's on TSN.
Côte d'Ivoire. Ivory
That's
Coast.
right. Mm-hmm. That's right. And then Gold Cup in a couple of weeks.
Chile plays today too. They're awful. They're out.
Officially out?
Officially out.
They're officially out.
They're last place, bro.
Oh, that's rough. Sorry.
Yeah,
That's for World Cup qualifying
it's terrible.
next June. That's 3 straight?
Italy might not be too far behind. Don't worry.
And you know what? They got, I think, the third highest international paid coach. Like it's
This is the last game. That he's
Is he the
managing.
third? I just saw the standings for a
Ricardo
thing for that.
Gareca.
Ancelotti is now the highest paid international
But
manager.
Italy's not in danger.
Yes, they are.
No.
Yes, they are.
They're in second.
But first, the winner of the group gets automatic qualification.
Yeah. Then you have to go to a playoff.
And Italy's done the playoffs the last 2 times, and they lost in the playoffs. They lost to North Macedonia last time.
They really did. That did happen.
Yeah, I
That
guess.
happened.
They're a disaster right now, and Norway.
But are they a good team? Like,
No.
be honest.
No,
Do they have a star?
no,
Okay.
not really. Like they have, I think I can name some names here, but I don't think most people know them. Like they
Gianluca
don't have anyone that can
Pagliuca.
go score goals. They got Donnarumma still in net.
You know what's weird about Italy in the last decade or so? They don't have a striker, man.
Gianluigi
can't-
Buffon,
They can't score goals.
Alessandro Del Piero,
Buffon.
Francesco Totti.
Hey, when you talk about Buffon, you have to call him Gigi.
Gigi. No,
That's his
Buffon.
nickname.
he's John Luigi to me.
It's just, it's one of those things where Italy, like right now, Norway needs to drop points somewhere. Italy has to go undefeated so that when the two of them meet again, Italy just needs to win and they win the group. Because, like yesterday, Norway beats Moldova 5-0. Italy won 2-0. That's not good for goal differential. They already lost 3-0 to Norway.
But they'll beat. Who did Norway beat?
Estonia?
Yeah, Italy's gonna.
Yeah, but the thing is, goal if Italy goes and wins every game the rest of the way, and Norway wins every game the rest except loses to Italy in that last game, Norway will advance because of the goal differential, because their goal differential is much higher right now, and Italy's not going to be able to overcome that. So they need Norway to fall somewhere at some point, and Italy cannot have any more stumbles, and then they got to beat Norway in Italy to avoid playoffs.
How does playoffs work? Is it a draw?
It's a draw, and then there's groups of 4. There's 4 groups of 4. Winner goes to the final of that group. The winner of that group, like you have to win 2 games in a row. You can't afford a loss.
What did Portugal win?
The Nations League.
Oh, you know what? Like when I think back to Italian soccer, like I played soccer. I wasn't very good, but I'm a defender. Like Italy had some of the best defenders I've ever watched.
Yes.
Paolo Maldini, Alejandro Nesta, Fabio Cannavaro. Like those guys, Tommy, were outstanding.
Oh, I know.
Part of our great group glory years that I'm gonna forget. Why am I forgetting all their names? Now I'm just blanking on them. I can see them all on my face. Bonucci,
Benucci,
Chiellini. And then there was one more that was like, there was this group of 3 that were just unbelievable. Why am I forgetting that third guy's name? But then, like, yeah, it's
They were good too, man. They weren't as good as Maldini and Nesta, though.
Yeah. I want to rattle off a couple of texts I think are pretty good. Ties in a little bit.
Tommy, we're talking Italian soccer.
Hang on, this is Italian
I'm
thing.
getting angry.
Dave in Section T.
Don't even know who the manager is for Italy moving forward.
Dave in Section T says, I guess the poor showing of the Mario Bros movie at the Oscars is why we never heard an outcry from the Italian-American Anti-Defamation League. And then our friend out of Miami, second text, like it, says, a funny Miami movie fact is that Scarface, a movie about Cuban drug dealers in Miami in the 80s, had like one Cuban in the cast and was filmed in L.A.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, but Al Pacino's Cuban accent in that movie is spot on. Spot on.
I mean,
They went Manny.
Italy might get Gattuso, and I don't want him as the manager.
Gattuso.
I know. It's just,
He was good too.
yeah, but he's not a good manager. I don't want him. I don't even know who I want. I wanted Ancelotti in the end, but now he's in Brazil.
Do you remember-
Quit Brazil and come home, Ancelotti. Come to Italy.
Do you remember
need you.
Toto Scalacci in 1990?
No, I wasn't born.
He was fantastic.
Oh, 94, I missed.
No,
I was
wait,
3 years old.
No, 1990, he was great.
Yeah, I wasn't born.
I just like saying Italian names.
I
if you
can
haven't
tell.
noticed.
You say them better than I do, and I'm Italian.
Come home after 26. We need you because we're not going to be at the World Cup next year.
Oh, stop.
It's not happening. You heard it here first.
I wish Chile was in your spot.
Well, yeah, I wish I was in my spot over Chile's spot, but EST afternoons, Hernan Salas, Walking Gauge coming up at 1 o'clock right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. That'll be following Two Guys and a Goalie, which is following The Lock Shop, which is coming up next. We also got the Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne later today on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports, presented by Play Alberta. On behalf of Tommy, Hernan, and Benny, I am Matt. Thanks for tuning in to the EST Hangout presented by Sentinrl Storage. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Lock Shop coming up in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Let's go. There you go, right in front of the camera.
First-time guest, long-time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Zola with here. Joining us today,